And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching ABL Live. You could be almost anywhere because they're releasing the quarantine, so you're not totally trapped, but you could be a different place. But you're right here with me, and I most certainly appreciate y'all for that. If you like the content on the channel, please give the video a like, share it. If you are a first-time viewer, please subscribe. And if you're listening on an audio streaming platform, do whatever you can for me over there. But we got a whole lot going on. Have you guys, well, I know you guys, it's kind of a rhetorical question. Have you guys seen Joe Biden lately in these interviews on television where he does not look like he's there at all? It's terrible. If he were to be out on the campaign trail, like actively talking to people in front of, like an actual crowd at a podium, it'll look even worse. Sanjay Gupta is an actual neurosurgeon, a brain surgeon, and he was on with Joe Biden and Anderson Cooper on CNN. And the look on Sanjay Gupta's face told the whole story. He was just like, oh man, this is bad. This is really, really bad. And it is. Joe Biden is not there. He has serious cognitive decline, and it's really a crying shame that the Democratic Party are putting him out there like that. They should have him in the home or at the crib, something. Hang out with his wife, grandkids if he has them, whatever. Just do that rather than trying to be out here on the campaign trail. And speaking of campaign trail things being closed, let's go ahead and reopen the country. We've had enough. People are protesting. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all for joining. Most certainly appreciate you. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. But we got to reopen the country. There are protests all over the nation. I think there's one here in Tennessee tomorrow. There's one right now, I believe, in, where is that? San Diego, California, Ohio, North Carolina, Michigan, Minnesota, Virginia, all over the place. There are protests because people are done. We're done. This whole thing, it's been so much fear mongering from the mainstream media, from the leftist establishment, from governors, from mayors, everybody. It's so much fear coming from them talking about, oh, if you don't slow the spread, if you don't social distance, you're going to die. Since when did this disease have a 100% death rate? You talking about what? Less than 1% death rate? I mean, people catch all kind of viruses, illnesses, diseases, whatever you want to call it, every single day and don't die. I mean, if I get a cold, am I just going to fall on the ground and pass away? Same thing with the flu and all other diseases. You can die from a common cold. Don't get it twisted. You can die from the flu. You can die from Ebola. You can die from these things, but should that make you be holed up in your house? And I was always told, in Texas as well, they're protesting, they're ready to open. But I was always told that the reason why we're doing the whole quarantine thing and the social distance and we're trying to slow the spread was to prevent from overwhelming hospitals all over the United States. That's what I was told. But yet and still, I'm seeing nurses all around the country doing TikTok choreographed videos, wasting up what they call the PPE. So it must not be that busy. It must not be that overwhelmed right now. So what are we waiting on? We're on the other side of the hill. Cases are declining. Let's go ahead and get reopened. We don't have all year to stay open. To stay closed, pardon me. We need to get open right now. And then some, when I asked them, hey, if we think that we shouldn't reopen right now, when should we reopen? Oh, I don't really know. We got to talk to the scientists. If you listen to the scientists, they'll say 2 years. For real, that's what they're saying. Let's listen to Fauci and other people. They're saying we should continue doing the social distancing thing forever. Don't shake hands anymore, like ever again. So, if you listen to them, they'll say years or forever. How about I say that I'm ready to go back right now? Life has risks. I can't prevent life from happening to me. You understand? Like, let's say you're in your house trying to prevent from spreading the virus, catching the virus or whatever have you. Here comes a hurricane. What you going to do now? Here comes a tornado. Here comes a really powerful thunderstorm or a flood or a fire. What you going to do now? Life was going to find you. You can't hide from life as long as you're living. So I'm going to live. As simple as that. So I'm ready to go ahead and get back rocking and rolling ASAP. Yes, 2 years. Somebody, Dr. was it Dr. Fauci was like, we need to do this distancing thing for years until we get a vaccine. We need to, stay away from each other, 6 feet apart, no more handshaking. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So listen to the experts. They'll say never come back because their purpose is to just give you the medical recommendations. Their purpose is not to give you how the blueprint on how to run the country, or how to keep an economy strong, or how to put food on the table, or how to put clothes in your back, or shelter over your head. They're just there to give their opinion about viruses, outbreaks, pandemics, or whatever. They don't understand the other part of it. So it's got to be a balancing act. Some may catch it and some may die, but that's going to happen regardless. Even with the quarantine, not leaving your house, it was still going on with that. They shut New York City down, but yet they were allegedly overwhelmed with the coronavirus. Now, here's something else about the virus. A lot of these numbers aren't really real. Not at all. They say, oh, okay, you have 677,000. I don't know what it is right now. Probably 700,000 cases in the U.S., right? It'll probably be 1 million when it's all said and done. Maybe even 2 million or 1.5. But right now they're saying like 700,000, right? But how many of these people actually have the virus? Just because they say 700,000 have been diagnosed with it doesn't mean that they're actually being diagnosed. I'm seeing reports all over the country of people saying, hey, you know what? I went to the doctor, or I called the doctor. I called the doctor. I called the hospital and I said, hey, I'm having a shortness of breath and all this and that and the third. I want to come in and get tested for the virus. And they'll diagnose them with the virus right there on the phone, or they'll come in for a quick check, and rather than get an actual test where they put the cotton swab in your nose or the blood draw, they'll just hear your symptoms and say, okay, you have the virus. You don't have any other real symptoms. You don't have an elevated temperature. You could be 98.6. You're coming in there, your temperature wise. They'll say, you have the virus without doing any kind of testing. If somebody dies and they have the virus, they'll say they died of the virus, while they may not have died from that particular reason. Just because you had the virus does not mean you died from the virus. Okay. You could have had a heart attack because you're obese and you've been obese for 25 years and you have a heart attack and pass away. It's very sad and so unfortunate, but that doesn't mean just because you had the coronavirus mean that you died because of the virus. Maybe you died because you're obese. Maybe you died because of a pre-existing condition. Maybe you died because of something else and not the virus. They're saying, when I say they, I mean hospital, nurses, doctors, they're saying, hey, we're seeing less heart attack victims and coming up as a cause of death. What's going on? Well, maybe a lot of these heart attack victims are now being coded as COVID-19. Therefore, they're taking numbers away from the usual numbers you will always see. Okay, people like they pass. That's just part of life. So this whole thing of, oh, we got to stay inside and slow the spread. A lot of these numbers ain't even real. The numbers in the U.S. are inflated for a couple of reasons. First of all, like I was saying, if you have it and you die, they'll just say, oh, well, you died of that. Not even really necessarily knowing if that's the reason why you died. And it's a way to induce panic, to provoke fear. And also it's a way to get money because you're getting paid for these COVID-19 cases. I think they said for Medicare, you're getting paid between $13,000 and $39,000. If I'm wrong on the numbers, let me know in the comments. I know the high is 39. If you get admitted to the hospital with COVID-19 and you get put on a ventilator, that's $39,000 right there. And the ventilator is actually harming people, and people are not even really using them. Okay, New York is sending ventilators away, but I thought that they didn't have enough. I thought they needed like 40,000. The administration gave them like 4,000 and they're giving some away. How does that make any sense? Obviously, the administration knows what's going on in New York. I don't know where they got the 40,000 number from. They don't need that many ventilators. And the ventilator, it actually harm you more than it helps, because once you get on the ventilator, it's hard to actually get off of it. So, yeah, it's not really something that makes a whole lot of sense what's happening, but it does make sense when you look at the financial incentive behind it. It makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, it's all about the Benjamins. That's right. Shout out to Ilhan Omar for that one. She would like that a lot. But yeah, that's what's going on. And also in China, shout out to Trump, because he actually pointed it out today, I think, in the press conference, or the press briefing, whatever they want to call it. If I could find it right quick, I'll put it up. But he was like, come on, man, do you really believe the numbers from China? I mean, come on. Like, the numbers don't make any sense at all. China was the epicenter, correct? But I'm to be told that they have the lowest amount of deaths in the world out of like major countries. How does that make any sense? How can China have less deaths and cases in Italy than US, than France, UK? They're underreporting their numbers because what they want to do is make it appear like they're strong and everything's all good and there's no problems. That's what they want to do. So it is what it is. Matter of fact, I think I got it right here. Let me see if I can pull it on up right quick. And thank y'all for being here yet again. If you like what you're hearing so far, hit the like button for me. That'll just help me out tremendously. All right, let me see if I can pull it up. There we go. And let's get some sound going on.
Next slide. And then we also wanted to show.
Also, the number for Iran. Does anybody really believe that number? You see what's going on?
If it's kind of hard to hear, he's like, does anybody really believe? I mean, come on, let's check it out.
Does anybody, you put that slide back if you would. Does anybody believe this number? Does anybody believe this number?
So, okay, if you guys can't, if you listen to the audio only and you can't see it, there's a graph. I think this might be deaths per 1,000 or something. I'm not really sure what the exact stat is, but it's showing how many people are dying per population, like kind of like a per capita death chart per country, right? And he's pointing at numbers in the chart that don't make any sense. Iran has a very low number, and China has the lowest number on the chart. And he's like, do you really believe that? And I said that in the video like 2 or 3 days ago. It was like, do you really believe it? It doesn't make any sense because Iran got hit really hard. I'm talking about like super hard. But the numbers are really low, and China has the lowest numbers of all when they were the epicenter of it. It doesn't make any sense at all.
You saw more
And this is why
bags on television than that.
this is why the reporting is so important.
Okay, so this is deaths per 100,000 population. And shout out to my man, David Harris Jr. for the video. That's where I'm getting this from right now. I'm on his Instagram. You guys follow him if you're not following him already. But it says deaths per 100,000 population. Belgium is at the top with 45.2. Then Spain, Italy, France, UK, Netherlands, US has 11.24. Iran has 6.6. Germany has 5.25. And China has 0.33. 0.33. Now I know that China is a big country, right? And that can kind of spread out the numbers. I get it. They got 1.3 billion people. I'm with you 100%. But they were the epicenter of it. Think about that for a moment. The epicenter, it broke out in Wuhan, a city of 20 million. So you mean to tell me that their death per 100,000 population is only 0.33? Come on. Make that make sense for me. So a lot of these numbers you're seeing are just fake. Totally fake. 100%. And it's all to push a particular narrative. In the case of the US, you have fake numbers because primarily money. Hospitals are able to get paid per COVID-19 patient. Burks got on TV and said that people who have the virus and die are going to be coded as dying from that. It doesn't really matter how they died or why they died. Okay, so you can get shot 47 times in the head with a sniper rifle from 800 yards away. Oh, you died of COVID-19 because you had it in your body. You know, and some people may test positive for the virus, but may not even have any symptoms. But if you died, that means you died because of that, right? Now in China, like I said, they don't want to appear to be weak. They don't want to appear to be like the blundering cluster that they are that released the virus intentionally, unintentionally, whatever it is. They don't want to appear to be the people that let out a bioweapon, because even if it was a mistake and they didn't mean to do it, what they did do was cut off travel in China when the virus broke out, but they did not cut off international travel. So, okay, you want to get us sick with the virus, but not your own people. I mean, what is that called? I mean, that's bioweapon all day long. Some got sick in Wuhan, and then you just exported it with those live body hosts to all corners of the world during Chinese New Year, everything else. A lot of these politicians are talking about, hey, go down here, go down there, enjoy yourself, it's all good. And now we got this whole thing where the whole world shut down due to their negligence, incompetence, or maliciousness. I can't tell which one it is, if it's all the above, but it doesn't really matter. Either way it goes, the numbers are totally fake. Yeah, talking about some, oh, they had no deaths in 2 weeks. I saw that AI. It's like, really? So China had no deaths in 2 weeks? Okay, if you believe that, I got some lakefront property in the middle of the desert to sell you right now. Right now, I got it for the low. Contact me, emails in the box. I got it for you, if you believe that story. I mean, come on. Nothing that China says is true. Don't trust, like my man said, never trust, Donald Trump never trust China. You know the rest. Never trust them because they'll lie. They'll tell you anything. And then the funniest part was when it was a Chinese official. He was asked about the situation. I'm not sure what the exact question was. I think, matter of fact, I think it was about this thing that we're looking into right now. We're trying to see if the virus escaped from a lab in Wuhan, which it probably did. It probably escaped from the lab and then got mixed up in the wet market. And now we have a pandemic all over the world. That's probably what happened. But anyway, now we're looking into that officially as United States. And China responded talking about, oh, well, the World Health Organization said that that's not possible. That's not really a real thing. So they want to just rely upon their attack dog, WHO, to put out things for them. Meanwhile, the guy that was being interviewed by a reporter, probably Taiwanese or Hong Konger, not really sure. She asking about Taiwan. He's like, oh, no, China's doing very good. You see what I'm saying? So the WHO, the UN, all these alphabet organizations, globalist organizations, they do whatever China tells them. So you can't believe them or China. At this particular point, I don't believe anything. What I do believe is that my freedom should be in my own hands. I should be able to actually go to a restaurant if I want and eat food. I should be able to go pick up something from Chick-fil-A without having this barrier in between me and the drive-thru. I was at Chick-fil-A today, matter of fact, picking up some breakfast, little chicken biscuit, nice little treat for myself. And I went to the drive-thru and I can't even really describe it. It was like when you pull up to the window, there was a 6-foot barrier between the window and your car. And they were putting out the bags on like little folding tables. I'm like, what's the point in that? You want to keep the 6-foot barrier, but yet you have to get close to my car to put the food on the table. It didn't make any sense. And then I got to be reaching out the car. And if I got any kind of, if I'm sneezing or coughing, it's going to be getting on the table because particles is going to drop out and get on the table. And then whatever particles on the table we put on the bag, and that bag would probably go in my house or in my car or on the surface. So it doesn't make any sense. And then before that, I got to swipe my card and I'm like basically high-fiving the cashier girl. So it's just silly. I'm tired of it, really. People are done. They opened the beaches today, and I think it might have been Jacksonville somewhere in Florida, or in Florida in general, opened the beaches, and they were packed. Why? People are tired of being bottled up. They're ready to go ahead and get rocking and rolling. Oh, we got a guest in the building. Shout out to my man, Black Conservative Patriot. Thank you for the donation, man. And shout out to you for your channel. You have excellent stuff, man. And if you're not subscribed to Black Conservative Patriot, do so right now. If I can find a link, if I can just get it right now, I'll put it in the box. But you guys search for him on YouTube, Black Conservative Patriot. Thank you, man. He says, keep up the great work, sir. Hey, man, likewise, man. Right back at you, man. Thank you for your donation. And shout out to Bucolic Buffalo, who says, appreciate your show, sir. Keep it up. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate you, boss. Shout out to Miriam Vidal, who says, an Israeli doctor has shown that in every country, COVID infections have the exact same pattern. The number of infections peak in 6 weeks, then start to subside after 8 weeks. Shutdown is whack. Exactly. Okay. There have been countries that did not do a shutdown that are just fine, that are not just overrun and overwhelmed. And like the main thing that I was told to be sold this whole bad bill of goods, this rotten bag of apples, is let's do the shutdown to slow the spread so we don't overwhelm the hospital system. You probably won't die, but if you get hospitalized, it'll overwhelm the system. Well, where is the overwhelmed system? Overwhelmed with what? TikTok dance requests? Okay, I think the only place they said that was overwhelmed was New York. And a lot of the times, the media would show fake footage. Not CNN, pardon me. CBS showed fake footage twice covering the story in the U.S. First, it was New York. Then it was, I think, Philadelphia. They're showing fake footage. They had footage from Italy in a hospital to try and show how bad it was in the U.S. So we're not overrun. I'm seeing hospitals laying off people. And the craziest thing I saw was when Virginia laid off 30,000 people in the healthcare industry. And then, the blackface governor, Ralph Northam, he then asked 30,000 volunteers to come back and help. Matter of fact, I'll place the post I had on Instagram on the screen before you. You can see it right there. It's kind of hard to look at right now because it's kind of small. But and if you're not watching, I'll just, read it for you. The first article from Virginia Mercury, it says more than 30,000 in Virginia healthcare industry laid off amid pandemic. So this is not an old article. This is not something from a while ago. I'm just trying to link to this. This is something that's current. Says pandemic. What pandemic was recent? It wasn't one. Or it may have been one, but nobody really cared. But anyway, so more than 30,000 in Virginia healthcare industry laid off amid pandemic. Then the next article, like a couple of days later, about 4 days later, says, can you volunteer? This is from ABC 13 News, local news background from Virginia. Can you volunteer? Governor Northam asking for 30,000 to join fight against COVID-19. So what are we really doing? I mean, I don't really understand. And the subhead underneath the picture, it says Governor Northam estimates up to 30,000 volunteers are needed to provide support for the expected surge in hospitals and long-term care facilities throughout the Commonwealth. So, I mean, why do you need that many to join the fight if that many were laid off doing the exact same thing you want them to come back and do? Is that slavery or what? I mean, not surprising coming from a guy that wears Klan outfits and blackface in his yearbook picture when he's 25 years old. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, he was young. He was a grown man. He was graduating medical school to become a doctor, which he is right now, which he has been throughout his whole life until he became a politician. Okay? This man was 25 years old, fully grown, probably had kids and a wife and a beard and everything else. Talking about he was young. He knew exactly what he was doing. Same thing with Trudeau. Oh, he was young in the blackface. And one thing, he was young, but he was still too old. But in the other one, where he was like Aladdin, and I'm not really sure why you got to have your whole body black as midnight to be Aladdin, but that's a different story, and I'll move on. This man was 30-something years old with coworkers. It's like, you are pretty much over the hill. You old, really. At that age, you could have kids going to high school. You understand? So, a lot of excuses that are made for these people that are doing just crazy things. And then beyond the whole thing of trying to get 30,000 to come back and work for free in the healthcare industry, Northam is also passing all kind of crazy laws right now during the pandemic. Very tight gun control laws. Or you got to do background checks and you got to do a waiting period to be able to get a gun legally. Oh yeah, that's in there. And then also, you're just removing all kind of abortion restrictions. You don't need to have a sonogram or a counselor or anything like that to go get your abortion. Basically, you having a straight, mainline abortion. You could go in there, kill the baby, have everything be done quicker than fast food. That's what he wants it to be. And it's really a shame. And then also some gender identity stuff. I forget what that was. But all kind of crazy things that are going on right now during the pandemic you're trying to pass. So it kind of escapes the public eye. It kind of escapes scrutiny and it kind of escapes the protesters. But you're not going to get away with it that easy, sir. People are going to protest. You're going to see civil unrest. Now, the thing about Northam is that he cannot be the governor again. Well, he can be the governor again, but not back to back. That's a law in Virginia. You cannot run back to back gubernatorial campaigns. You cannot be the governor back to back, but you can be again. So he's not going to be office too much longer. But the problem is not just Northam. The problem is the whole swamp in Virginia. The swamp in the Potomac, like in D.C., it extends into Northern Virginia. Okay, so their swamp and our swamp are pretty much the same thing. D.C. and Virginia got the same swamp, or it might be a smaller swamp in different parts of the state. Okay, you got the big swamp in the Potomac, and then that kind of spreads like a virus to like Hampton Roads, Richmond, Roanoke, etc. Okay, so you got to get rid of that swamp in Virginia to get that culture that Northam brought out. Because if it ain't Northam, then who's going to be the next guy? Mark Herring, Justin Fairfax, some other guy from D.C. that didn't come from Virginia, that didn't grow up there, like Terry McAuliffe. Terry McAuliffe was the governor. He came from Syracuse, New York, and became the governor of Virginia. Why? Because he was in D.C. working on Hillary Clinton's campaign. Matter of fact, he was Hillary Clinton's 2008 campaign manager. Terry McAuliffe was. Then after that, he's like, okay, I'm in Virginia still. I'm not far away. I'm going to just go ahead and be the governor of Virginia. That's what he did. That's how it works. So you got to get rid of that whole culture that exists in Virginia to eliminate that leftist, far leftist stuff they're trying to do right now. You know, it is what it is. A peat bog, exactly. That's a good way to say it. It's like a peat bog. Shout out to Brian. Absolutely. So, but I thank y'all again. If you like what you're hearing so far, hit the like button, and I appreciate you for that. We got a whole lot going on. All right. Is the Skype email not there anymore? That's weird. It should be. Okay. Let me go ahead and put the Skype email in there just to make sure that everything's on the up and up. And I should go ahead and fix that for my defaults. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. All right. Skype email. All right. And it should be. Okay, got it. So it should be in the description box now. And what I'm going to do is also put it in the chat box. There it is. So if you want to get in through Skype, when I take calls in a little bit, thank you, Bill from the Hills. I appreciate you right on time, boss. But if you want to get on a little bit later, when I take the calls, you could use their email to get on through Skype. All right. Shout out to Kirk who says ABL for president. Hey, you never know. That could be in the future for sure. And shout out to Trump for saying liberate Virginia. I see you, Lion 78. Liberate Virginia, liberate Minnesota, and liberate Michigan. These places are being just totally overrun. The craziest thing I've seen is what's happening right now in Michigan. Okay, you can go to the Walmart, right? But you can't buy certain things in Walmart. Why? I don't understand. If you're in the store and it's right there in front of your face, why can't you buy it? If it's available for you, if it's on the rack, as a price on it, why can't I buy it? It's dumb. Talking about it's non-essential. So what? Like, you may think it's non-essential, but that's not any of your business. If I'm in the store, I should be able to buy whatever I want. It's so silly. You're killing businesses by telling them what they can sell, what they can't sell. It's not illegal to sell flower seeds. That's not illegal. It's not illegal to sell. Like, and they're saying some of the craziest things. You can buy this, but you can't buy that. You can buy lumber, but not paint. It's like, okay, if I'm building a house, then like I can't even really get all my things I need to finish it. I can get some things, but not everything. It's just so silly, and it's just so arbitrary. And the crazy thing I saw, I think it was in Malibu, California. It was a guy on a paddleboard out in the water. Nobody was around him anywhere close. So there was no, violation. It was no, you're too close. You're 6 feet away, 8 feet away. Nobody was anywhere close to him at all. All right. There go my man, Brandon Tatum. Thank you, Brandon, man. I appreciate you. God bless you as well, man. Thank you for your donation. Hey, we got all the stars in here tonight. We got Black Conservative Patriot. We got Brandon Tatum. And you guys, if you're not subscribed to Brandon Tatum, go ahead and do that. Subscribe to my man, Brandon Tatum, right now. And go to his store, to the Officer Tatum store. Go to his store, get some stuff over there as well. I got things in my store, but his store is good as well. So shout out to my man, Brandon Tatum. Absolutely. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. But the thing about the person in the paddle boat, there was nobody there within a good 40 feet of him in a circumference, right? Surrounding them. Nobody around. Then the boat pulls up on them to arrest him. It's like, why are you arresting me on this boat? You're closer to me than I was to anybody else, but you're locking me up for violating social distance. It's like, nobody's around me, so how am I violating a distance thing? It doesn't make any sense at all. But it is what it is. And there's a lot of things like that going on. And I'm just tired of it. You go in any store, you got little tape on the ground, and nobody's really abiding by that. I was at a Panda Express a few days ago, and they have you order online. You can't go in the store. You order online and pick it up outside, and had little X's on the ground where you stand, right? Nobody was doing that. Everybody was standing normally, just talking like it was a regular day. Okay, you go down to the beach, it's packed. And what was that, Jacksonville or somewhere in Florida, Tallahassee, Tampa, somewhere in Florida, packed. Because anybody just trying to be in the house cooped up, they want to get outside and enjoy themselves. It's nice. It's like 85 degrees, 75 degrees. Why not just go ahead and live your life like it's golden? Simple as that. But thank y'all again for being here. If you like what you're hearing so far, hit the like button for me. Also, if you are a first-time viewer, go ahead and subscribe for me. 100%. Shout out to Art Hughes, who says ABL and Tatum turned me into a conservative. I love you guys. Hey, man, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad we're able to have an impact on your life. So thank you for being here, and shout out to you, man. You know, hopefully you can keep on going and keep on pushing forward in your life, man. So thank you. All right. Yeah, the laws in Detroit, the laws in Michigan are just ridiculous. Not even laws, just recommendations. The rules they have going on right now are just absurd. So people are protesting all over the country. In certain states, they're protesting. They're not in every state. And they're saying, okay, you got small protests, but it's going to grow larger and larger as long as we keep going down this road of not being able to go out here and work and take care of our families. That's what everybody wants to do. People are saying, oh, well, you're being greedy. You're being selfish. Ain't nobody being greedy and selfish. How is it being greedy and selfish to want to feed your family and take care of your kids, to pay your mortgage, pay your rent? Because there's no bill that's been passed that says that your car note's not due or your rent's not due or food will be free. I'm seeing people right now diving in the dumpsters. The food banks are overrun. Might not be no more food in the food bank. They're going into dumpsters right now trying to find some food, trying to find something to put on. There's this little like kiosk where you can put clothes into at the Walmart. You know what I'm talking about. You can go up there, donate your old clothes. That thing right now is jumping. But people going in it, trying to take stuff out. Because and then where I live at, you had a tornado that happened. Remember that. So as we get further into the warm months, you're going to have more natural disasters that could happen. Hurricane season is upon us. It'll be here like in May, June. You know, so the longer we go doing this whole thing, we'll be less prepared to deal with any kind of natural disaster, any kind of thing that comes our way. Let's say a hurricane hits, right? Are you going to be doing social distancing and stuff like that after the hurricane hits and people are trying to, you know, scramble to get food, clothing, shelter? Are you really going to do that? They're doing that here with a tornado. Okay, a tornado hits. Everybody goes to a city that's like a little ways away that still has power and food and stuff like that. Because if you don't have any power and you've not had power for a few days, you don't have any food in your refrigerator. You may have some non-perishable items, but not much. So you want to go somewhere that has power, that has food. So they go to the next city over. And that's being overrun right now because people can't go inside. There's all kind of restrictions, social distancing. How are you going to do that when the hurricane hits Florida or something like that? God forbid. I mean, that will be going out the window. So the time is right now to get back on track. 100%. Exactly, Fudge World, who says it's selfish to ignore everything going on with the economy collapsing. Correct. That's selfish if you want to talk about it. Okay. The economy, like you may as a person be doing well, perhaps. But what about the 22 million that filed for unemployment? Maybe the 40 million that are unemployed, but, you know, can't file for whatever the reason may be. And what about those that are just underemployed? People saying, hey, you know, I was getting 40 hours a week, but now I'm getting 25 hours, 20 hours, 15 hours, 10 hours, 5 hours. And if you go for 45 hours and you might have had two jobs, one at 45, one at 20. The 45 goes to 15 and the 20 goes away. What are you going to do? You needed two jobs and you had one that gave you more hours than what you have right now. So what you going to do? Yes, you're employed, but you're not making money to make ends meet. So you're pretty much in between a rock and a hard place. How are you going to be able to deal with that? It's time to move past what we've been doing and go forward in life. As simple as that. It ain't really no other way to explain it. So I'm ready. You guys, you could tell by my voice, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get rocking. I don't really care. And speaking of not caring, shout out to my man Chris Cuomo for keeping it all the way 1,000. Although he did recant it, talking about, oh, I love Jeff Zucker. I love CNN's and the third. What he said on the podcast was how he feels. He said that he does not like what he does anymore because he don't like talking to fake people, to fake politicians, and he doesn't like being harassed in public. He doesn't like what he does. I think he does not like working at CNN because nobody respects CNN. So when you go out there in the public, you're not getting love, really. You're getting people that just don't like you at all. People that might even hate you because of where you work and what you do for a living. Now, if I saw Chris Cuomo in public, I'm not going to be hateful towards the man, but I will tell you that I'm not going to be his best friend. If somebody was to say, hey, here's Chris Cuomo, I'll be like, all right, that's fine. So what? You know, I'm going to go back doing what I was doing. I don't really care. But he does not like what he does. Maybe he doesn't like CNN. And he said that on the podcast. He was right there, right on point. It's amazing what you say and what you do when you're in a comfortable environment, in a comfortable space. You understand? Versus when you're kind of like in front of the camera and things are expected of you. Okay, when you could be on the podcast, there's no producers in your ear, you could do whatever you want, you're not wearing a suit or tie, you're more relaxed and the truth comes out. But then when it comes time to get back to work and you got to make that money, oh, I'm sorry, I love Jeff Zucker, I love CNN, whatever. And same thing with my man Elon Musk. Now, is Elon Musk a leftist? I'm not sure what his politics are. I don't know him to be a political guy at all. But I like what Elon Musk said when they were asking him about, what were they asking him about? They were asking him, no. They weren't asking him anything. What happened was Elon Musk had an article written about him on CNN that was false. They were talking about, oh, well, Tesla promised 10,000 ventilators. They didn't deliver. They didn't do what they said what they were going to do. And Elon responded on Twitter. It's like, really? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to just lie on me like that? Okay. And then he pulled out receipts like, look, boom, this is everything I got, what you got. And there was no way to really combat what he was saying at all. It was just, everything was right there. It was all facts. And there was nothing that could be done to really refute it. And I appreciated him for that, for coming out and fighting against CNN and their lies. And what made it funny was when he was like, I'm surprised that there's still a CNN, that you guys still exist at all, because there's nothing but fake information on this particular website. And he's right on point. It's all false information. Who watches CNN? Like, if you're not in the airport stuck, why would you ever turn on CNN and say, okay, this is what I want to watch. This is what I want to see for the rest of my night. Or I'm going to go to CNN to get the real information. Nobody watches them anymore. And the mainstream media in general are being ignored. People are coming to people like myself and Brandon Tatum and Black Conservative Patriot for their information and for their news. They don't want to go see a guy like Chris Cuomo go on TV and lie, or a guy like Don Lemon go on there and attack people. They don't want to see that anymore. They want to see honest people come on television, be on their YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and give some real information and some real facts, you know, from an honest perspective. 1,000%. Okay, Elon Musk endorsed Andrew Yang. Okay. See, I don't know. I didn't even see all that. People saying that they don't like Elon. But okay, even if Elon is a liberal, which he probably is, that tells you how much CNN sucks when even the left say they don't like them, because CNN has this whole thing about trying to combat the right. That's their whole thing. They'll attack the right. And now they're like attacking anybody. They don't even really care. They're attacking Elon Musk. He's on your side. What are you really doing? They'll attack anybody with false information and fake information. So now they hate everybody. The anchors hate doing it because they know what's going on. They know it's fake. They know it's false. People that work there behind the scenes know what's going on. Oh, yeah, OAN is really good. Shout out to OAN. Shout out to Chanel Ryan for being there in the White House press briefing room. She's excellent. The rest of them clowns in there do nothing but provide us for entertainment and topics to talk about on our videos. But they don't really do anything. They don't add anything of substance at all. I mean, like, what was it? April Ryan, not April Ryan, pardon me, the new April Ryan, and like April. If you put April Ryan and Jim Acosta together, you have Yamiche Sender. Okay, people like Yamiche Sender from, it was New York Times, now it's PBS. I don't know. They're so transient, but anyway, people like that going on camera for a little bit of fame, just, you know, antagonizing the president, antagonizing anybody that's going to give him a year. It's like, what are we doing here? Are we asking questions? Are we serious journalists, or are we just trying to be antagonistic? Nobody likes for the reporters to be antagonistic. They want them to be fair and balanced. That's what they should be, not one way or the other, just being fair. What's up with the antagonistic? I think at this point, people know that the mainstream media, old school media, are dying. So they got to do things and stay relevant and then stay in your mind, which is do antics like ask gotcha questions, scream over people. It's crazy. It's rude. It's lewd. But what else are they going to do? Don't have anything else. Nobody cares about their particular information anymore. So all they have left is to try and get into antics to get attention that way. That's pretty much what it is. Somebody called Maxine Waters Vaccine Waters. That's hilarious. Vaccine Waters is too funny. Shout out to NKM, who says, I think Cuomo was one of the CV victims diagnosed over the phone. Hilarious. Probably so. Probably so. It's a lot of that type of stuff going on. Oh, I have no actual temperature. I'm 98.6. I don't have any real symptoms, but yeah, I got COVID-19. How'd that happen? And then you're added into the new cases of COVID-19. You have no symptoms, no fever, no chills, no spills, no nothing, but yet you're added into the cases. And if you get hit by a bus and die, then that means you died of COVID-19 and you're added into the death toll. It's stupid. It's crazy. Yeah, it's making, you're right, Kev Chat. The reporters are becoming more childish because they have to fit into this whole thing of trying to attack people. So now they're becoming more childish. Absolutely. Yeah, PBS should be defunded. Now, PBS, is that funded by the federal government or local governments? If it is, then yeah, defund that right now. Especially if it's coming from the federal government. Yeah, defund that right now. Like, what are we really doing? I think they got more money in that whole bailout situation. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But yeah, go ahead and defund that. I don't see the problem with doing that. Shout out to the super chatters. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. We got quite a few I'm going to get through right now. Thank you to Jimmy B for becoming an ABL supporter. I most certainly appreciate you. Shout out to Eric Burns Marsh, who says, greetings from yet to be liberated, Virginia. Thinking about coming to Tennessee to seek asylum. Hey, come on out here. It's much better. You have some little pockets where it's a little weird, but nothing like Virginia. You can still have your guns. The abortion thing's not going through. We're much better down here. I left. I seeked asylum down here. So you might be next. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Angry Shamrock, who says, I appreciate all alt media support report. There you go. Because the alt media, the alternative media, they're what are really driving the truth. If it were not for the alternative media, there would be no check on the mainstream media, which is what people generally watch. If they're not really in tune with what's going on the internet, they watch the mainstream media. But us on the internet, the alternative media guys, or other sources that are not necessarily only online, like OAN, Blaze, and whatnot, if it were not for them, they could do whatever they want on the mainstream media level without any kind of check or balance. But thank you to my man, Charles Hunter Jr., who says, Left Coast comrades Jay Inslee, Kate Brown, and Gavin Newsom all want to keep the lockdown. There is a gathering tomorrow at 1 p.m. in Olympia, Washington. Hey, I'm glad that's happening. You're going to have a lot more of those gatherings, protests, rallies, or whatever in favor of opening the country as long as we keep this whole thing going. You know, so, you know, they're talking about opening in June. No. Open right now. How about that? Shout out to my man, Peter Barrett, who says, ABL, if you were mayor, would you order a shutdown? Absolutely not. No, I wouldn't. If I were the mayor of a particular, like, let's say I'm the mayor of Chattanooga, right? All I would do is give you the information. That's all I would do. I would say, hey, there's a pandemic going on right now. People are getting infected. Some may pass away. what you could do to protect yourself is keep a safe distance, wash your hands. If you want to wear face masks and gloves, you can do that. If you work in a place where you get a lot of people to come to you, you should probably wear that, but you don't have to. You're not required to. It wouldn't be no lockdown because you have some cities where they're saying it's a quarantine curfew. So you can't even be outside at all past like 8 o'clock at night. Stupid stuff. You can't go to the beach. You can't go fishing. You can't go jogging or swimming. I wouldn't do all that. I would give you the information and let you decide how you want to handle yourself. That's it. That's all I would do. I think that would make sense because most people, they're going to just do what they think will make them be safe rather than having to be, dictated to by the state. I give you your choice. To me, it makes sense, but maybe I'm wrong. But thank you for your donation. Thank you to Joshua Perez, who says all the COVID-19 numbers are inflated because of money and fear. Only works in blue states, but the rest of us, we are never scared. Exactly. 100%. Like, the fear is strong all over the place, but in the blue states, I'm seeing some crazy stuff. I'm seeing like nobody on the road. Like out here where I'm at, the traffic is picking up. And once you open the businesses back up, it's going to be exploding. It'll be like Christmas Day for about a week or more when you have everything open back up officially. But even right now with things closed, traffic is still jumping. Open the parks up, open the stores in the mall and stuff like that. It'll be back cracking like it never left. 1,000%. Exactly, Darth Lord Vader. If you're scared, stay home or go to church. That's how I carry it. Nothing against anybody in church. I'm just saying, if you're scared, then you do your own thing. But let us who are not scared do our own thing. It's simple. Shout out to El Capitan, #FLTR, who says, support from Alabama. I agree we need to reopen. I'm right there with you. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Joshua Perez, who says NYC now forced to wear masks and gloves. That's crazy. And then my thing is, if you're forced to wear masks and gloves, are you going to be given the mask and gloves? Thank you. All right. Shout out to Max Dominguez, who says hello from Texas. Let's open the country. Let's get back to work. Trump 2020. I'm right there with. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Miriam Vidal, who says, I read that one. Shout out to Bucolic Buffalo, who says, appreciate your show. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Let me see. Charles says, I was at Chick-fil-A today for lunch and they all had masks. Breitbart News said that Utah Governor Gary Herbert wants to try to reopen on May 1st. Yeah, I'm with it. I think May 1st, you'll see a lot of states, if not most states, reopen. I think so. You may see California and New York try to hold out, but most states will probably be open on May 1st. I think Texas is opening in today or next week. They may do it gradually, but I think that they're going to most certainly do it. Shout out to Marwan9 for your donation. Shout out to Clarence Hooks for becoming an ABL supporter. I appreciate you for that one, boss. Thank you to my man, Snapzilla Gorilla, who says, don't forget me. I'm a star too. I think I'll be calling in today. Lots of crazy crap going on in this country right now. All righty, man. Thank you for your donation. Look forward to the call. Shout out to Benjamin Bussey for your donation. Thank you to my man Nippon, who says the only real thing China gave us is the virus. Exactly. They gave us these little devices, electronic devices. They fall apart in a minute, right? In your hand. You be wearing a watch from China. It'll fall off your wrist in the first day you wear it. But this virus is like strong as Arnold Schwarzenegger back in 1979. But anyway, thank you for your donation. Thank you to Valerie Rogers, who says his country's ready to blow. I'm right there with you. Thank you to my man Matthew, who says no economy won't spring back. Hey, hopefully it does. Hopefully you're wrong about that, sir. And thank you to David Sheeran for becoming an ABO supporter. I most certainly appreciate you. Yeah, gotta have that tea. You already know what it is. When you talking for a long time on stream, you gotta have this, that, and the third cup. And this is on the shop, and I'm doing more things in the shop too. Just as I feel like I put something up, I'll just put some in the shop. Shout out to Bucolic Buffalo, who says pandemics of 58 and 68 originated in China, and over, how many is that? 100,000 U.S. deaths from both. No panic. Then with smaller population. Exactly. I mean, there have been plenty of other pandemics that have happened throughout U.S. history, and they have not caused this mass panic and hysteria. I think what's happening right now is that we have social media going on, and also rabid mainstream media that want to attack the country, really. They want to attack the country so they can hurt their president by proxy. So we're just like, we're like the Philippines in World War II, if that makes any sense, but I digress. The point is that we are just like cannon fodder. We're just kind of like innocent bystanders in the war between the mainstream media and Republican Party, conservative values, whatever. And really, it might be between the left and the right, because the mainstream media are the left. They're the enforcement arm of the Democratic Party. You have Antifa, they're the ground troops, the foot soldiers of the Democratic Party. Then you have the mainstream media, they are the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party. And then you have the people in office themselves who write the laws, your Ilhan Omar's and everybody else. They're all like working together to come and attack the United States. And their purpose is to destroy it so they can take over when it's all said and done. When the U.S. is a pile of rubble, they want to come in and take over and do whatever they want to do. Shout out to my man Yuri Bezmenov for telling us how they do it. But that's a different story, and I'll move on. Yeah, we got 1,000 people in here. That's right, Max Dominguez. We got 1,054 in here. And I appreciate all y'all for being here. If you like what you're hearing so far, hit the like button for me. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, if you are a first-time viewer, go ahead and subscribe right now. It's free. And I'd appreciate you for that as well. Yeah, exactly, Lucky Luciano. It's war between light and dark. That's what's happening right now. So it's much bigger than just, the coronavirus or anything. It's, light and dark. I agree. That's a good way to put it. Shout out to Margaret M, who says, 1, the inflated numbers help China. They are even counting COVID death with no positive tests, just assuming. 2, the Democrats want private hospitals to fail. They want government-only healthcare. Uh-oh. That's a good point right there. Very good point. And thank you for that, because people are getting laid off in the medical industry. Because I was told that, the hospitals are being overwhelmed, so we got to shut everything down and slow the spread. Meanwhile, they're shutting down. I mean, it's crazy. But thank you for that. Shout out to Maurice Delt, who says, much love, bro. Hey, thank you for that, man. I appreciate you, boss. Shout out to my man, Maurice Delt. I watch you every now and again, man. You got some great content. Absolutely. All right. But it's a whole lot going on here. And I thank y'all for being here. Oh, speaking about Joe Biden right quick before we get to the calls. Joe Biden need to just stay home, relax. He is not there. And if you saw Sanjay Gupta's face, it told the whole story, right? Matter of fact, hold on. I'm going to bring it up right quick. Oh, before I bring up Sanjay Gupta, before I do that, you know what? I ain't even going to do that because that's kind of sad. Let's talk about this right here. Shout out to my man, Mark Dice, for bringing this up. Okay, this is what's happening right now in Los Angeles. This is how crazy it is all over the country, but especially right now in Los Angeles, California. You can't even go skating. They are filling in the skate park. Like they're filling in the skate park right now with sand. So you're not able. Look at this right here. Okay, hold on. Let me just back up a little bit. Look at this. Now, if you can't see it, what's happening right now is that you have the skate ramps at the park. Like I'm talking about like the bowls and everything. You could just, go down, come up, do, your grinds and kick flips and all that good stuff. They have parts of it filled with sand, so you can't accelerate, you can't gain speed, you can't skate from one side to the other. So it prevents you from being able to skate in the bowl. And they have that same thing all over the park. They got this big bulldozer moving sand from the beach. It's probably on Venice Beach or something. They got this big bulldozer moving sand from the beach into the actual skate park, so you can't even use it. It's like, what are we doing? And the whole skate park has sand all in it. And here's my question I have, just in general, a general question. How much is it going to cost to do all this? How much did it cost to get that bulldozer to come in and move sand in there? How much did it cost to put sand in these specific places? Because it's not just haphazardly put in there. They got it like in little rows and stripes to prevent you from being able to gain speed in the bowl. So it's like, what are we doing? One of the bowls is totally filled up with sand. Like you can't even, rather than having a skate park, you have a dirt bike park almost. This is ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. How much did that cost to even do this? And to fix it, how much would that cost to fix it, to return it back to normal? Because at a certain point, it'll go back to normal. How much is that going to cost? This is crazy. I can imagine how it's going to be when it rains. Where's the brain power here? I'm not really sure. Look, if I want to skate, that's my business. Don't just fill the park with sand because you want to protect me. You're not helping. You're making things worse because that's an outlet for me to be able to go skate. I can have fun. I can get some sun, do some outdoor stuff. Because I was told that, oh, we didn't get outside enough. We're always on our phone, always in a computer, sedentary lifestyle. Obesity is a problem, but you can't go out and skate. And be clear about skaters. They're not really trying to be lovey-dovey, hugging up on everybody. They're skating. They're not really going to be around people like that. People will be there, but it ain't like they're going to be in close quarters. How you going to skate with a guy that's like a foot away from you? That's not how that works. But hey, this is what we're doing right now in 2020, the United States, filling up skate parks with sand. I mean, what in the world? Crazy. Yeah, exactly, Margaret. It's easier to feel, a nightmare to get out, because you can't just, you can't just take that out of there like that. I feel like it would be kind of difficult to get the sand out. So it is what it is. And yeah, the schools are now closed, I think, all over the country. I mean, you might as well, because if you're going to be locked down for this long, what's the point of coming back? Because I think the school year is going to end like, June? So but you got like a month left. What's the point? Just go ahead and cancel it. I mean, you might as well. And then I think at this particular time, people will be able to see that maybe the public school system ain't all that anyway. What are you really learning there? A lot of these kids go to school, might get a worksheet, might get a project talking about build a volcano or something like that, and don't even really build it. So I think people will realize that the school system ain't really all that necessary. And they may do more homeschooling, charter schooling, or whatever, private schooling to get a better education rather than going to, regular school. All right. Shout out to, let me see, Valerie Rogers, who says, we are under martial law via NEA. Thank you for that. Shout out to Harry Henderson, who says, bogus. Exactly. Very bogus. Shout out to Lake Nipissing. Hopefully I didn't say nothing crazy. Who says, God bless Trump for wanting to reopen the USA. The drama teacher pretending to be Canada's prime minister. Talking about Trudeau wants Canada to fail with indefinite quarantine / business shutdown timeline. That's my thing, because when I ask people that say, oh, we got to keep the shutdown going, I'm like, all right, for how long? Nobody's able to really tell me when it should end. Or whenever the scientists say, give me an exact date. Because you're talking about the bill man, the rent man, the water man, the food man, and I say, hey, I need some groceries. They're going to say, okay, when can you pay? Pay it right now, or what? Pay it right now, or you're not going to be able to get it. As simple as that. They're not trying to hear, oh, I don't know when I can pay. Nah, pay it now, or you're not going to get it. So you got to tell me when I'm going to get back to work, when I'm going to get back to life, so I can continue on whatever I was doing. Don't tell me, oh, indefinite timeline, sometime in the future. Give me an exact date so I can plan my life accordingly. Very simple. But thank you for your donation. And shout out to Say Ha, who says, I want to see ABL do a massive Air 720 on a gnarly half pipe. Thanks, bro. Hey, I can't do it. That ain't really my wheelhouse. I know some guys that could do that back in the day when I was in high school, but that wasn't me. I tried to do a kickflip, almost injured myself real bad, but that's a different story, and I'll move on. Anyway, thank you for your donation, man. No, the funny part, Big Unk, is that my grandparents on my dad's side are both teachers in Roanoke, Virginia. So teaching is in my blood. And I have helped to mentor some young people in the past, and do a little bit of teaching. And my dad was a mentor as well to some kids. So I may do like kind of a mentorship or like an apprentice program or teaching. Like I was trying to do that back when I was doing graphic design. We had a studio. I was trying to get youngins in there to do some apprenticeship work. We had some in there doing some stuff, but I wanted to really kind of expand it. So I may do that in the future. Thank you for your suggestion. Shout out to Charles Turner Jr., who says, so thankful for ABL, B. Tatum, BCP, and others. I was talking to one of my other favorites on YouTube. Her name is Daisy Cousins. I know who that is. Shout out to her. I recommend her, and we discussed how the intensity of the current culture war during the lockdown. And thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Yeah, the culture war is crazy, but I'm not really sure exactly when we're going to have an end. Is there going to be a conclusion to the war? I don't really know. Thank you to Igon51 for your donation. I like that Igon with the rocket. Shout out to you for your emoji super chat donation. Alrighty. Exactly, Surge 45. Surge 45 says, I can't stop paying taxes, can't put everyone in jail. They wouldn't have any poor people to work. Yeah, it's crazy. So, I don't know. We got to get back to work. You know, people are scared of this virus, but you can't let that fear paralyze you. Yeah, shout out to all the skaters. Big up to all the skaters. Shout out to Tony Hawk. Shout out to TK. All them guys. I know a little bit about that stuff, but yeah. Yeah, shout out to Roanoke. Hey, I know all about Roanoke. I know about where's my man from? Cave Spring. That's where my man JJ Reddick is from. I think TK and Rondé from Cave Spring as well. Salem and all that good stuff. Blacksburg. Shout out to Roanoke. We live right there, you know, in the hood, of course. What's that? Northwest Roanoke. Yeah, shout out to them. Alrighty. Let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And thank you all for being here. If you like the video, like it. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. I'd appreciate you if you did. Cave Spring, yeah, shout out to Cave Spring. I know about them. Yeah. The Roanoke suburb, nice little area. Shout out to JJ Reddick from there as well. I think TK and Rondé from there. I know they're from Roanoke, but I think they might be from Cave Spring, which is like right there. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get on into it. I'm turning my Skype on right quick, see if it wants to work. Richmond, shout out to Richmond. All right, Henrico County. What else is right there? Henrico, Mechanicsville, Short Pump, all that good stuff. All right. Highland Springs, which is also Henrico. All righty. Tanya, what's going on? Hold on 1 second. I can't really hear you, so let me just tighten myself up right quick. It might be me. Now, I hear you now. You're coming in just fine now, so what's going on?
Okay, great. I just wanted to talk about New Zealand's response to COVID-19, just our perspective on how we're going. About a month ago, we implemented a really strict COVID-19 response where we went right into lockdown. I think we only had about 40 cases at the time. And the police have been extremely, extremely strict. If you leave your neighborhood, you will get either a notice. If it's multiple times, you'll get a fine and maybe an arrest. So we've had like surfers being arrested, mountain bikers, like all that kind of thing. On the other side of it, oh, I can see my face now. I'm like super close. On the other side of it, we've had surgeries being cancelled. So on the public health system, you can wait up to 5 years for a surgery, and those were all wiped out. But the thing is, there's only about 13 COVID-19 patients in hospital at the moment. So it's like they wiped it out for no reason. I don't know why my face is so close to the camera, but anyway. Yeah,
you got to kind of move the camera up a little bit or push the laptop back so they can. There you go. Perfect. Well, it was good, but you kind of moved it down. Move the laptop back a little bit. If you're on a laptop, move the screen back a little bit. Okay, there you go. Perfect.
Okay. So basically the economy's come to a halt, and I think it's stricter than the US because we don't have restaurants open, no bars, so we can't do drive-thrus, we can't do any type of pickup.
Oh, wow. So they're closed all the way. Like you can't even go there at all.
No, so nothing. So it's basically supermarkets and some retailers online, but very little. But I mean, most of the liberals in the country are applauding it because it's like a complete police state, obviously, but they're just applauding that it's so strict and we're getting cases down and blah, blah, blah. But on the flip side, the economy is completely just in the toilet, basically. So that's where we're at.
So you said how many were in the hospital with the virus? Like 14 people in the whole country?
Yeah, in the whole country. So we have about 1,400 cases. Only 13 of them are in hospital. And a lot of those cases are actually probable cases, so they're not actually confirmed cases, I don't think. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Has anybody died from it there?
So I think 11 have died, but they were in their 70s and 80s, and they were in one old people's home.
Wow.
Or one or two.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's wild.
But yeah, if you remember, our Prime Minister was the one who wore the hijab after the Christchurch shooting.
I remember that, yeah.
You can just imagine, like, she's loving being on TV every day and, like, being in control and all that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I kind of got that vibe from her when she was, when that whole thing happened and she was out there. It's like, okay, you want to be a Hollywood actress. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. And then just one more thing about Joe Biden. So just looking at how his wife is always sitting next to him whenever he does interviews and things, she either really wants to be first lady or she's just really scared that he's going to say something and like she has to come in every time and try to fix what he said. But I think she really wants to be first lady and that's why she's trying to showcase herself everywhere. But yeah.
Nah, I think she's there to be like a handler for him because she knows that he's not really all the way there. So if he says something crazy or kind of gets lost in conversation, she's there to get him back on track. She don't want to be the first lady, but she knows her husband. She knows that he's not right all the way up there mentally. So she's there to help him with whatever he has going on.
Yeah. So we'll see how that situation goes. But anyways, thanks for taking my call. I'm glad we got the camera sorted. Yeah. Have a good rest of the live stream.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
See you.
All right. Shout out to Tanya for the call. She's coming from New Zealand, if you guys didn't know. In New Zealand, I should say, they only had 14 cases of the virus right now in hospitals. And it's only like a few people that died, and they were in one old folks' home. You can't even go to a restaurant at all. You can't do no drive-through, no pickup, no nothing. Just all you can do is go to the grocery store, and that's it. And that's crazy. That's totally crazy because here's the thing about it. Where I live right now in Tennessee, if that were to be the case, like no drive-through, no restaurants, we'd be out back because we had a tornado. So there's no power. How you going to cook? How you going to cook food with if you go to the grocery store and buy your groceries, number one, you don't have a refrigerator because your power's out. So how you going to store it? And number two, how you going to cook it because there's no power? You see what I'm saying? So you got to have restaurants open. You got to have the country open again because you're going to have certain flaws that really show themselves when a disaster comes, when anything happens. You got to be able to have that. And you might not have enough to go to the grocery store and get food. You might need to go to McDonald's, get $1, meal thing. So yeah, it's important to have restaurants open, not just because you want to go there and get food, but because you actually need it right now during this particular time. So it is what it is. But let's get to the next call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get to my man. Let me see. And the phone lines are jumping. I'm going to try to get to everybody as soon as possible. 702, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, good evening, Mr. Logan. This is the Red Pill Barista from San Francisco.
All righty. What's going on?
How are you doing tonight?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain.
I have to give you credit for one thing that happened to me on Thursday. I think it was Thursday. What happened was I have a downstairs neighbor. He's 48 years old, and he works in a nursing home. Well, anyway, I hear all night, my wife and I, it sounds like he's playing the organ. It sounds like he's playing an instrument, like he can't breathe very well. So I went down there, and I knocked on his door, and I said, hey, you all right? I haven't seen you in a couple of days. and he says to me, I can't breathe very well, but and I have a bad headache. And I told him, I said, well, maybe you should check it out. And he says, no, because I watch YouTube and because I watch people like, and he mentioned you because I turned him on to you and other YouTubers. He said, who called out the virus, who called it as a fraud, that I will resist going to the doctor. Now he's acting now. Yesterday he couldn't breathe very badly. So what happened is I was trying to convince him to go, and he said, no, I have to strengthen my convictions. But he looked like he was a beet red, his face. So I just wanted to thank you, Mr. Logan, for people who would run to the doctor and take up our healthcare system are now not going because they're telling the truth on YouTube that the Wuhan virus is just a little bit like the flu. Now that Donald Trump has declared the Wuhan virus vanished and gone, minuscule, he said, why should I go? I don't have the virus. My president told me I don't have the virus anymore, that it's nonsense. Now, I told him, good for you. Lay in bed, take some aspirin, you'll probably feel better. So I just wanted to thank you for that, because you gave that man the courage, even though he looked like he was going to have a stroke, that if you just take a few aspirin, lay down and go to bed, you'll be okay. So thank you for that, Mr. Logan. I haven't heard from him today, but I'm sure he's okay. Now,
hold on. But I mean, if somebody's like about to die, like, because you could still get something else, you could still die of something else. I mean, death is not taking the pause right now because you got the virus going on. So if the guy's like, oh, I can't breathe, and you're having a hard time, go to a doctor and see. Yeah.
No, I didn't say that it could be anything. It could be a virus, another virus. It could be, no, he's not having like a heart attack, but he said what happened is that he's just having a little trouble breathing. So, who knows? Besides, in this America, Donald Trump's America, which I support, you have, and you've said it, and a lot of other people say it, and I support that, you have to look out for numero uno first, for your family first. So what you have to do, and even I was listening to our inspired president, Mr. Trump, say this, you have to look out for yourself first. So you have to say to yourself, I can't save the world. So that's the attitude that people should take. They can't save the planet. Isn't that what people are expounding nowadays? Am I getting it wrong, sir?
But as far as not taking care of yourself and your family first?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to, because that's, you can't like just do whatever you want in society. But at the same time, if you can't eat and your family can't eat, what are we doing? Like, it doesn't even really matter. If you die, then nothing else really matters. So you got to take care of yourself first. That's the first law of nature, self-preservation. So that has to come first, but you still got to be a civil person in general in society. Like, that's just a normal thing.
Right. That's what I was telling people. I said, ignore it. The virus doesn't exist. Our president of the United States said that the virus never existed. If you go into press conferences from a few weeks ago, that's essentially what was being said.
No.
He was denying. Wait, hold on, Mr. Logan.
Okay.
And I am a conservative, like you are. Let me tell you, it's inspiring. I'm not doing it to put anybody down. I'm saying that when he says that people in New York weren't dying in the numbers that they said, who are you supposed to believe?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what he said about the people in New York dying, but what I will say is that Dr. Birx got on TV and was saying, if you have the virus and you die, you will be coded as a COVID-19 death, regardless of what actually happened. She said it on TV. So that's what's going on. A lot of these numbers are overinflated and people are being driven to fear because of the virus, and they're allowing their rights to be taken away because of the fear.
But and I follow the president as you do. Didn't Donald Trump say that he liked China's transparency? Didn't he say that being transparent? Go back to last month's press conferences. Doesn't he say that President Xi is a good friend of his? I mean, I go by the president. What am I supposed to think? Am I supposed to think that Trump is lying to me? I don't think that. I think he's telling the truth. So that's why when he said that China has been a good partner with us and is doing good with the virus, I believe that. Don't you?
Well, I think what Trump was talking about as far as Xi Jinping, they're trying to be diplomatic with him. It's just like, okay, Xi's doing a good job because you don't want to say he's doing a bad job. You want to be able to have a kind tie with him, even if you don't believe everything is on the up and up. Just like he said today, you know, seeing the Chinese numbers as far as deaths are concerned, he was like, do you really believe that? And you still got the trade war going on, so you can be heavy-handed with the country while at the same time trying to maintain diplomatic ties and not being a total enemy. You don't want to be given, you don't want to go to the point of having a war. You want to be strong. You want to be strong, but at the same time, you don't want to be so strong to where it's adversarial and you can't get anything done at all.
But you think about that, though, with China, in that, say 15,000 Americans died from the Wuhan virus. Say it's not 40,000 Americans died. Let's go to 15, okay? If it's 15,000, that was 15,000 people that died from Chinese cover-up. So what the America says basically is, okay, we'll take the 15,000. It's not a bad number, but that was 15,000 Americans that got killed by Chinese covering up. But I know how it is, sir. It's economics. Of course you have to open up the country. You don't want people to starve, but people have to realize, your audience and you know this, you're a smart man, you know the economics. Economics and money transcends Jesus. It transcends countries. Now, think about it. I'm not being facetious. I'm a conservative. I'm a free market man. I'm not like Ivan the Roach Coach guy who can't speak a word of English that speaks to you and you have to put your ear right next to it to understand what the dude's saying. I'm a real red-blooded American. Now, I'm telling you, the free market dictates. If you say the free market dictates, there are no nations. There are no peoples. There's only currency. There is only exchange, and that transcends everything. And if you don't believe that, then you're living in a fantasy world. Of course money means everything. Death never meant anything. 57,000 people died in Vietnam for oil and for Southeast interest. And you know that, sir. You're a historian. It wasn't for communist domino theory. You know that. The same thing with Korea was a war of money. So what we're saying is that it's a truth. Money transcends everything in life. You could be a baby about it and be like Bernie Sanders and say socialism, but that's not going to work. And you know why socialism is going to work? Because people have self-interest. And you're going to get 330 million Americans wanting self-interest, and you're going to have a mess of a country. You know that, and I know that. So what we do now is we have a free market where we say the individual does not matter. It's the collective through businesses. It's like sports. You know that, sir.
Wait. Let's slow down. So
yes.
the individual does matter because the individuals are the ones that have to eat. Like, that's all this is about. This is not about trying to, support big corporations or anything like that. Because really the truth is the big corporations will be able to last longer than the regular individual will be able to, because a Walmart, a Target, places like that, Apple, Facebook, Google, etc., they'll be able to weather the storms. They got plenty of money. They got plenty of infrastructure set up in America, but the small mom and pop shops make up 70% of the businesses in America are not going to be able to survive. Go to some of these small towns in America that are dominated by small businesses. Everything's shut down. Nobody's able to eat. So it's like, what are we doing? We're killing the small businesses. Some of them are going to go bankrupt or can't come back anymore. But the big, wait.
I'm sorry, Mr. Logan.
But the big dogs are still able to stand because they still got the money to be able to weather the storm. So it's really about the small guy, not the big guy. That's what it's really about.
But let me ask you something, sir. And once again, I'm looking at it a conservative point of view. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a communist, because those systems are pie in the sky and they don't work. But let me ask you something. Where were these same people when Walmarts are moving into small towns and destroying little businesses? Where was the speech?
Well, there's pros and cons to a Walmart moving in, because, again, people need jobs. Like, if Walmart comes to where you live at, people may come from other parts of that particular area and get jobs there. There are some mom and pop shops that may have been closed down it's just kind of like a balancing act. It could be pros and cons. You may have some shops that close down, but then you may have some more jobs that are created. You may have some jobs lost, but you may have more stable jobs. It just depends on the situation. But at the end of the day, and then also at the end of the day, when you do things like this, when you shut down the country, that makes it more difficult for these small towns to resist, because if you have a small town that has not been inundated by Walmart, or is kind of not necessarily just totally dominated by Walmart, and you still have small businesses, that's going to be over with when this whole thing is allowed to persist and they don't have any more money. They can't sustain themselves. They got to go Chapter 11 and pretty much just go back to working. Then at that point, here comes the Walmart and save the day. That's what happens. But hey, it's been a good call, but I got a lot more calls on the line. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, now that was Red Pill Barista. Normally he calls in, has some good stuff to say, but today was a little bit different. He was just coming with some, just a little different point of view, and that's fine. But the main thing is this: we got to get back to work, because it's just a regular everyday person who is trying to struggle to eat. I'm seeing people digging in the dumpsters right now. I'm dead serious. Right now where I live, I'm seeing people going in the dumpsters at gas stations to try to get something to eat. Okay, and it's only April. This has been going on for about a month now, maybe a little bit more. So if we go into May and June, it's going to be really rough. You're not going to see Bill Gates diving in the dumpster. You're not going to see, Tim Cook, Mark Zuckerberg, not Bill Walton, but his family. You're not going to see any of them diving in dumpsters anytime soon. They're losing money, sure. Your Walmarts and whatnot. Well, not Walmart, but some of these corporations losing money, but it doesn't even really matter because they got money. They have infrastructure set up already. Governance, they're going to be fine as well because they get paid from you, the taxpayer. But what about me? What about the small guy that's just trying to eke out a living, making like 25 grand, 35 grand, 50 grand? How am I going to be able to survive in this situation where I can't make any money mandated to me by the government? You know what I'm saying? If I have a business and I go out of business, here comes the big business, the big dog, your Walmart, your Target, your Aldi, your big grocery chains, Food Lion, Food City, etc. They're going to come in and dominate me because they got the money that I don't have. They were able to weather the storm that I couldn't. It's the same thing that going on with raising the minimum wage. It's the same thing that happens. Raising the minimum wage does not help the small guy. It helps big corporations to get bigger. So if you don't want the small guy to get trampled by the big corporations, then you should be in favor of the country opening back up, not for anybody else other than the small guy, because we're going to be the ones that work the jobs that are getting shut down. Simple as that. But let me get to the next call. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me go ahead and get on to it. All righty, Matt, what's happening?
Hey, can you please organize like a summit between you, Red Pill, and Ivan? I gotta see what these guys look like. Like, get them on Skype or something, if you would. Get
them in the same room with each other. I should be able to do that.
Yeah, it's got to happen. I mean, I'll donate for it to happen. Hey, in terms of again, I work in aviation, and there's some anecdotes or that guide our industry that I think are relevant. In terms of the lady from New Zealand, in terms of some of the facetious stuff that Red Pill was saying, you got to put your own oxygen mask on before you help others. I mean, that's built right into the whole equation. You got to help yourself before you rely on other people. And the reason is because if you spend all your time helping someone else get their mask on and you become hypoxic and you pass out, then both of you are done.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't help anybody if you can't help yourself. And if you are not able to, if you can't feed yourself, clothe yourself, take care of your kids, then, I mean, what are we really doing? You got to help yourself first before you help anybody else.
And then we also put numbers to lives. Like we can pretty much figure out how much a human life is worth in terms of not like, oh, hey, you're this many dollars, but just in terms of a risk assessment matrix. I mean, we have to do things called system safety analysis, and whenever we certify aircraft, we actually have to figure that kind of stuff out to say, hey, this is, aviation is fairly safe compared to other modes of travel. What types of losses are acceptable, and we quantify that. And when you look at this pandemic, I mean, I see it as basically 3 flu seasons. So how much of, in terms of economic destruction and inactivity, and is worth, on the other side of the equation for 3 flu seasons? We have to get back to work.
That's right. And when you say that, some may say, well, that's cold. How can you be so heartless? It's not about being cold. It's just about being honest. This is just the reality in which we're living. You can't get around it just because of feelings and stuff like that. You have to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, skiing's killed more airplanes. But my joke is skiing's killed more Kennedys than airplanes. I mean, for all intents and purposes, whether it's healthcare or injury or, insurance, anything, we should stop skiing altogether. I mean, there should be no reason to do it, right? And then in terms of the economy, we're in way bigger trouble than what a lot of people sort of realize. I mean, we went past tax day. Most people haven't even paid taxes.
Oh, no, because, it got extended, but people just take advantage of it. Yeah, they have not paid.
Yeah. So when you combine all this loss of economic activity and the Fed balance sheet, which is just absolutely exploding, when they monetize this debt and it ends up making its way onto Main Street, it's going to cause hyperinflation. It's pretty much inevitable. In terms of what you can do to prepare for that right now, being in debt is a really good thing right now, especially if whatever debt you have is not a mortgage. And the reason is because in the future, when dollars are a lot more plentiful, it's going to be a lot easier to pay that debt back. So obviously having savings right now is going to help you feed your kids and feed your family. And fuel is really low. Everything, when you look at all your commodities right now, it's a closeout sale. So if you want something right now is the time to buy it if you have savings. And personally is metals. So I have been structurally going through, and 25% of everything that I have that I can liquidate, I'm even selling stuff, I'm buying silver with it. And because silver is just on a closeout sale right now. So if you can get a credit card right now, just for your daily needs, knowing that, with all these people that are defaulting, all these people that are even your lease is a source of credit in some way or another, because it's going to take them 3 months to evict you, and it's going to take them, the sheriff's department is going to be completely backlogged. They're going to be begging for renters 3 months from now. They're going to be begging you to stay instead of saying, "Hey, we think you need to leave."
So do you think the rent will come down after this, because they're going to be begging for renters and they want to entice more to come in, so rent will come down, or will it stay the same?
It's going to plummet.
Okay.
So a good question, I think, when it comes to the economy is like, what is the economy? Because if a guy that I follow by the name of Mike Maloney, he did some really interesting graphs on tax returns. Like, so in terms of what people are paying in terms of taxes, right? So where's the tax revenue come from? If you look at it, the economy basically is 2 things. It's real estate and stock market. It never used to be that. So it used to be that if the stock market could go up and down, and Main Street would sort of be divorced from that. In other words, people would pay taxes, and those taxes would go, and you'd get like a federal register of tax receipts, and it would go up and down, and they would kind of just follow their own trends. They're lockstep now. So anybody that's got money is making it in the stock market or in real estate. And the stock market is kind of like Beanie Babies at this point, because a lot of industries, a lot of public offerings, they don't actually produce anything. Like, you look at like Twitter just as a token example, they're not producing a lot. You look at Amazon and what they've sort of been able to get success with is their ability to avoid state sales tax and their ability to get these like really sweetheart shipping deals with the U.S. Postal Service and FedEx and those kind of things. That's not sustainable. So if I were, laid off and I was working in a kitchen or something like that, or working in a restaurant, I'd go get a job at Walmart and try to get as much money as I can right now so that I could buy, not having a job will let you get credit. So get a credit card, get whatever loan that you can, but also buy things, save in terms of metals or something like that right now, and pay off all your debt as slow as you possibly can right now because your dollar is just worth so much.
So why would you not get a mortgage right now? Because it's going to crash?
Yeah, the mortgage, Peter Schiff said something, he says it to this effect of the mortgage is a great thing. It's the house is the problem.
Okay.
Right? So if you can get debt, that's a really good thing right now when you're going into an inflationary period. But the house is your collateral, and they're going to become worthless. So one of the biggest problems with mortgages, especially here in the Seattle area, is that we got all these millennials that aren't having kids, and we got all these boomers that are going to try to retire on their housing equity. And the millennials don't want the big single family homes anymore. And, I'm speaking broadly. And the boomers they're going back to work at the grocery store and stuff like that because they realize that, hey, I can just pay my taxes but I have this really valuable house to retire with, and that's gonna explode on them. I mean, they're not gonna be able to do it by the time they retire. And then the pensioners, I mean, out of all the bailouts that are going right now, Illinois is screaming because they can't afford to pay their police officers and their government workers and stuff like that.
Firefighters.
They're having a municipal debt crisis. So all these boomers that are going to try to retire and they realize that they can't. That's been one of Trump's biggest sectors of employment increases is old people trying to retire but coming back into work.
Gotcha.
So they're going to be competing for young people who aren't having kids. We're not going to have the offspring that we need in order to grow the economy, to hire new employees. So in one way, the economy is really bad, but if we can start making stuff here again, that's vital. We can't have an economy of services anymore. It's not sustainable.
I'm with you.
But thanks. I hope enough people follow some of this advice.
Oh, it's all good, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, cheers.
All right. Shouts to my man Matt for the call. I appreciate him. Yes, those are sirens in the background, but it's all good because there's a tornado out here, but so it's gonna be some little things happening with a tornado. You may have some more trees falling and some other little things happening, but it's straight. And no, I'm not getting swatted. Everything is good because I know they know me out here and we're good. We're on very good terms. I know the people that run it, so we good money. Don't even worry about that. All right, let's get to the next call. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. Let's go to 262 unit line. Who am I speaking to?
Anthony.
All righty, what's going on?
So I was watching Jubilee the other day. I seen you on there.
Yes.
I was just wondering how your experience was.
Oh, it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of good people on there. It was when I watch it back, it was interesting how they got everything edited down to like 20 minutes. We were there for 3 hours. We got there at about 7 a.m. LA time, and we left at about 10:30 a.m. LA time. So we were there for quite a while doing different things. I think they did a pretty good job editing. They cut out some things that were kind of interesting, but I think what they put in there was good. Overall, it was a good experience. Everybody was cool. I disagreed with a lot of people that were there, but it didn't really matter because I was able to get my point out. It wasn't too argumentative. The producers told me to not, dominate the conversation, to not really be trying to be too argumentative, have a discussion. So I try to keep to that and respect that. And I think everybody did that. So it was a good experience.
Did they pay you?
No.
No? It was more of just a debate, basically?
Yeah, just kind of a conversation. They asked me if I wanted to be part of it. And I said, sure, because I wanted to be able to get my point of view out there and just let everybody know what time it is. So no, it wasn't a paid thing at all.
The conservative lady was kind of annoying. I kind of like seeing as a viewer.
Yeah, people say that, but she was really nice though. Just, you know, when you see the video from the outside is one thing, but when I was there, she was really nice. And we spoke before we went into the actual room. She was cool, but I could see where people are coming from when they watch the video.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, Jubilee was a good experience. Nah, you know, no money were exchanged. I mean, I wanted to, as soon as they called me, I ain't care about nothing. You know, it's in LA. I paid for my hotel, my flight, all of that. I ain't care. I wanted to do it because I knew that this would be very important, you know, to really get the message out there and reach a lot of people, to let them know what's going on with me as a conservative. I feel like they don't see me that much. People that watch Jubilee may not have ever seen that guy like me before. So I wanted to just introduce them to a person like myself, so then to be familiar, because they may have in their head what they think a conservative is, what a black conservative is, but I want to be able to show them like, this is me. So now you know, and that's what it is. But let me get to the next call. Let's go. All right, call you on the line. 857, who am I speaking to?
Yeah, hey, this is Ivan.
All right, man, what's going on?
Well, wow, man, you guys are, conservatives are going a little bit wild now, huh?
What happened?
What's going on?
What happened?
All the protesting and they want the right backs and you know, wow.
Going wild.
Guns.
Well, how was it going wild when nobody got hurt and nobody was in the fight or anything? It was very peaceful.
I mean, I've never seen people protesting with their guns like that.
Why not?
I don't know what.
Anybody getting hurt?
Because I mean that. No, but I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? It will be another group doing the same thing, but that's not what I came to talk about. But it's just people have lost their minds completely. My question for you, if I could ask all of you, Anomaly, you know who is the guy with the long hair? You know who is?
Who?
Anomaly.
Anomaly.
Yeah, you know who is?
Yeah.
Okay. If I could ask you, Brandon Tatum, Dr. Candice Owens, I guess now you're doctors, you and all of you, what you guys have learned from the pandemic experience of 1918 through 1920.
What have I learned from it? Nothing.
You didn't learn nothing from it?
I wasn't alive back then, so I can't learn anything from it.
No, but it doesn't matter. We don't have to be alive to learn something from it. This research, this information, you don't have to be alive. I don't have to be alive to know what the mistakes that were done in World War I and World War II. I don't have to be alive.
Well,
I just do research.
Be specific about your question that you want to ask, because I feel like
my question is what?
No, listen, sir. I'm not done talking. Now,
okay.
Be specific, because right now you're asking a loaded question. You have a particular answer that you want or thing that you want to say, but you're not saying it. So give me the actual question rather than the loaded one.
I'm asking you a question. We have a pandemic. We have a situation similar of today. This is historical. This is not fake news. What lessons we should have learned from that pandemic, from the mistake that they made? Or what lesson we learned from what they did that it worked?
I don't know. You tell me.
So you guys haven't done any research.
Sir, listen to me. Listen. I said, I don't know. You tell me.
Let me break it down for you, because Anomaly saying that this is a scam. Candice Owens said this is a scam. The other one said this is a scam. So everybody said the news are the all fake news. We never had fake news before. The media get things wrong here and there. They always ban. This is not
okay. So like I said, I mean, okay, you doing.
Okay, let me go back.
Get to it.
Social distance, quarantine has worked. Has been proven that work. The reason that no more people die during the pandemic of 1918 through 1920, it was because we have quarantine. The states that have less quarantine that's the one that with largest death tolls. The one that the less quarantines, that we have a very strong restriction. State like California, I think Texas was one of them. Minnesota was another one.
Well, New York has very strong quarantine, very strong.
And the numbers are dropping.
Sir, listen. I'm not done.
The numbers are
sir,
dropping.
Listen. You gotta be quiet. New York has very high, very harsh laws or rules, social distancing, quarantine, all kind of stuff. You can't even get on the city bus through the front. You got to get on through the back. You got to wear a mask. You got to wear gloves. All that stuff. They're leading the nation in deaths. So when you said the states with the strongest regulations in place as it relates to the virus had the lowest deaths, that's not true because New York leading the nation. So how is that possible?
Oh, you have to, but you have to understand another. You got to be a little bit. You gotta come off of your propaganda. You got to.
You said it. You said it, sir. That's your words, sir. Sir, that's your words. You said it. So are you telling us? Are you lying or what? What's going on? Tell me what's happening.
I'm not lying.
But you're wrong. But you're wrong.
Okay.
You're not lying, but you're wrong. Because you said, sir, you said the states with the highest regulations, social distancing, quarantine, all this, that, and the third have the lowest death numbers, but yet New York leads the entire nation. The entire nation by far is not close. How'd that happen?
I'm talking about major cities.
What?
I'm talking about major cities.
What do you mean?
Can't compare,
Wait.
A rural area in Tennessee where you are with New York.
Wait.
Stupid.
Wait a minute.
Don't
You said,
be stupid.
sir, quiet. What do you mean? We talking about major cities. I mean, New York City. I'm talking about the whole state. You said if you have the area with the highest, a state with the highest recommendation, quarantine, all that stuff, they're going to have a low number, but they don't. Now compare New York City. I'm talking about the cities now. Compare New York City to L.A. Why is New York City so much higher than L.A.? L.A. is a humongous city. So why are they so much lower than New York City?
Because they have the strongest quarantine. New York, this is what Dr. Fauci said about New York. New York is a state that a lot of people come from normally. You been in New York before?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so tell me the difference between New York and L.A.
One's on the east, one's on the west, one's in the north, one's in the south.
Come on, be east. Come on, bro.
Look, ask me.
Difference?
Listen. I need you to stop talking for a moment, sir. Be quiet for a moment so I can help you out here because you don't understand what you're trying to say. Now, what you want to do is tell me what the difference is, and then ask, do I agree?
Transportation. How many people ride the train in New York in a daily basis? In one day, how many people the transportation system in New York move people around from place to place?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
So then that's one of the reasons.
Sir, no, sir. I said, sir. Be quiet. I asked you. Tell me. So if you don't know, then how are you going to tell me that I'm wrong for not knowing? You don't know how many are transported that way. So what's going on? If you do know, then tell me.
18.
Okay, so you don't know. So what I'm gonna do right now is move on to the next thing.
The facts. You don't have the facts.
What facts?
We have the fact that a state, larger cities, the people congregate the most. We have a stronger restriction. The numbers drop, just like New York.
But not in New York. But New York has most deaths in the entire nation. They have the most deaths in the entire nation. By far, it's not close with the strongest restrictions. It doesn't make any sense. It's the same thing with Chicago. Strongest gun laws, yet the most gun deaths. Obviously, it's not really working too well.
So, dude, you arguing with something that's factually accurate. So it's like, are you saying?
But you're not accurate because you said that the places with the most restrictions, the most quarantine, all this, that, and the third have low death rates, but that's not true. So, I mean, go to something else.
Death rates are not true?
What?
So you work there, so do you know everything? Do you know the information?
What do you say?
Do you know the information? Seems like you work, you know so much information.
We talk about
calling this guy this situation BS. You don't know what happened in the past that quarantine and
you're all over the place. You're talking about New York. Now you're going back to 1918. Like, what do you just stay in one place?
Well, I mean, the things can change from place to state. You cannot compare New York some rural area in
but LA, I compare it to LA. How about LA? How about Miami? How about Chicago? How about Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas? How about that?
Transportation system in Chicago move more people than in New York? No.
You don't know that.
No, that's not. So I already move on.
But you don't know that.
You have no facts, but you already...
You don't know that. So what I'm going to do right now is go to the next call. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right. Shout out to Ivan. He had to go bye-bye, though. Yeah, I mean, that's a funny guy. He says, how many people are transported through the train in New York City? I say, I don't know. You tell me. And he doesn't tell me. Like, if you know, then let me know. And if you don't know, you can't argue that point. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank y'all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you like the show, if you like the content in general, hit the like button for me. And also, if you are a first-time viewer, go ahead and subscribe. It won't do nothing but give you some good content every other day in your phone, in your computer. And thank you to the super chats right quick before we get to the calls. Thank you to Cato50 for becoming the ABL support. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Joyce Redland for upgrading to the ABL squad in the membership. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Shout out to Mandatory Carry who says we need to have a plan before we reopen, not after. I'm with you. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Nature Boy Alfie who says you are a great American ABL. Thank you for your very kind words and your donation. I most certainly appreciate you. Shout out to Dan who says liberate California, brown, Hispanic, conservative for Trump. Love you, ABL. God bless you. Hashtag, the wall going up. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Lori O for your donation. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Charles Turner Jr. who says people like Fredo, Ricky Maddow, or that greasy lip witch, WITCH, not the other one. Donna Lemon won't be dumpster diving either. Exactly. Yeah, that's a very good point. I was saying that earlier about people dumpster diving already. Yes, already. Somebody said, doing that already? Yes. I was seeing dumpster diving April 1st. Listen, people are already dumpster diving trying to find food. It's April the 18th. So if you go all the way to June with this, I mean, you're going to see crime increase. It's going to get real hectic. My plea is for the regular, everyday American person, not for the corporations. I'm not against corporations, but my plea is for the American people. If you have a big business, they'll be fine. They can sustain the storm. So it's not even really about them, although I do want them to survive as well because they provide jobs too. But the regular everyday person working at McDonald's or something like that, trying to, you know what I mean, make rent, trying to get $800 to pay their rent, they're going to be suffering the most. So my plea is for them. That's not selfish. That's just being an American citizen and wanting the best for all Americans. Shout out to Crush Groovin who says they giving much deserved love these days. ABEL. Thank you for that. Much ABL, much deserved cheers. Thank you. I appreciate you, boss. A lot of fat. Nah, it ain't fat folks I'm diving. I'm talking about people looking like they on their last leg. Emaciated. People just struggling. Like, you don't know, people are living. People are struggling just every day to get something to eat. You know what I mean? A guy came up to me and asked if I wanted to buy a bicycle. He had 2 bikes he was walking with, said, did I want to buy one? White guy, lucky might have been about 50, 60. Bikes look disheveled, old. That's probably all he had to his name. Because what else are you going to do? All right, let's get to the next call. 561, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Brandon from Florida.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Man, that last caller. I understand about opening up the country. When I heard about this, I was actually moving 100 miles to a different city. And so when I found out about the whole country being on lockdown, I was like, excuse me, could you repeat yourself? Anyway, I've talked to a number of people. I used to do some military work, and so I understand some concepts of weapon design, not CBN, but conventional munitions. But anyway, the point is that this could be a bioweapon, okay? A lot of people have brought up evidence that could be a possibility. And if that's the case, then, let's think about this. If I was asked to design a bioweapon, the last thing that I would do is create something that you just get over it, and then you're immune from it, right? I mean, that doesn't, really, that's not a very effective weapon. So what I would do if I were designing this is I would have something that you do not become immune to. And, for example, and some of this evidence is coming out of South Korea and China too, but I don't believe their numbers, that people are getting reinfected. And so that means that they're not building up immunity. So, here's one possibility, that you get it, okay, you do not build up immunity, and then you get it again and again and again. And possibly the second and third time, the first time it doesn't kill you, but then the second time or the third time it gets worse and worse, right? So that's one possibility. Another possibility is that it stays in your system, okay, like HPV or HIV, herpes, something like that. And we know one of the modes of transmission is ocular. It's through your eyes. Someone coughs, and then you get it, and you get a droplet in your eye, and you then contract the disease. Well, let's say that it works like HPV. In the case of HPV, you get the disease, and then you have a breakout, like herpes. Okay, you get a breakout, and then what the virus does is it goes and it plants itself into your spine. And then it reasserts itself over, time periodically. That's why people have breakouts. Well, let's take a worst case scenario. And of course, the worst case scenario is the worst possible thing that could ever happen, right? Okay. So let's assume that this is a bioweapon, that someone designed it and that they did the best job that they possibly could. Well, in that instance, it could possibly embed itself into your optic nerve. And so if that were the case, then say 5-10 years from now, you end up going blind, okay? Or if it embeds itself into your spinal cord, and you end up being paralyzed for the rest of your life. So, and we don't know enough about this disease to know that, yeah, you get it, you're immune from it, and then that's it. If it is a bioweapon, the objective should be, if I were, designing something that was militarily effective, something that would, for example, okay, kids get it now, right? Say at 10 years old. It doesn't affect them, they, seem to have virtually no symptoms. And then 10 years from now, they're now somewhere around 18, 20, they're joining the military. In that time, the Chinese forces have time to position themselves, knowing that at that point in time, there's going to be a significant reduction in the ability of the U.S. military, because now those people who got infected 10 years ago are now going to be not able to fight. They have problems with their vision, they're, suffer paralysis or whatever it is, okay? So at that point in time, then the Chinese military then comes in and they know that the forces are weakened and they're able to do, whatever they want, essentially. So there's evidence to suggest that, like I said, that it can, reinfect. But, it's also mutated several times. I think there's strains A through D already. So if you build up an immunity to A, that doesn't necessarily mean that you build up to D. Right?
I got you.
We don't know how. Right. So we don't know how many times it will mutate. So there could be an EFG or whatever, okay? And so over time, this could be something that becomes much, much worse, regardless of your age. Sir, right now it's killing people who are 65 and older. But the news has essentially sold us on the idea that the only people who are going to die from this, the only people who are going to be affected from this are old people. And that's all the news is saying. And quite frankly, no virologist has said, yes, you get immune to it. No virologist has said it doesn't have any long-term effects.
Right, I got you.
Right, exactly. So you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the call.
In other words,
I'm sorry, man. I got a few calls on the line. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Okay. All right, thanks.
I see where he was going, but basically, you're saying that that this could be a thing that's long-lasting, could go for a long time, could be dormant, could come back. The HIV thing I've heard before. Some people are saying it's like airborne HIV. I don't know about that one, but it's possible. It's crazy. But I think that we just got to keep on rocking. Some people have it and don't even know they had it. They have it with no symptoms. So I think it's kind of early to really try to figure out how this thing is going to actually operate. And it could be seasonal. I've heard people say that. They said it could come back. I think Fauci said that. You know, he said, oh, well, Southern Hemisphere, they're starting to get cases right now because it's starting to get cold. So this is why I'm saying, this is part of the reason why I'm saying we should go ahead and open up because it's starting to get warm here. So if he says that there are starting to be cases in Southern Hemisphere because it's starting to get cold, that means that when it's warm, there's going to be less cases. So there's less need to be trying to, you know, social distance and stuff like that. Just move on with your regular life and have that be that. It is what it is. But thank you for the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. Let me get to the next call. Let's go 609. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL.
Yes, sir.
Hey, ABL, what's happening, man? How you doing?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Yeah, man. Listen, I called in, man. I got a different position on this, man. I'm surprised no one has really brought it up about your man Trump, man. I kind of feel like Trump. I feel like he got to wear this one, to be honest with you, man. And here's why, right? Now, you know how Trump's like, well, I couldn't shut down the economy because I didn't know I didn't know it was going to be this bad. No one could have known. I'm like, all right, here's the thing, right? The defense budget is $618 billion, right? And I'm like, look, if I'm paying somebody $618 billion to do security for me, and all my homies is dying, you're fired, straight up, no questions asked. Yo, get out, you failed, boom, right? Now, here's the thing that I'm looking at the cost of the Gulf War. I'm looking at the cost of the Iraq War. Gulf War was $61 billion. Iraq War, $618 billion. We just spent $2 trillion on the stimulus package. I'm saying people in your neighborhood diving in dumpsters. I'm saying, how can a fiscally conservative person turn around and then vote for Trump again? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, you can't blame Trump for the virus. I mean, how could anybody know that this is going to do this? Like, there's no way to actually know that.
Well, here again, it goes right back to it, though. Hey, I gave you $618. Everybody dying. $618 billion. Well, I didn't know. Is that an acceptable answer when you have the largest defense budget? You have people all over the world. You got people there. And then you can't really think about this. Military, right, from a military standpoint. Military are paid to know covert operations against us. Stuff that's deep underground. That's in that budget. You got to know that. You're talking about something where the Chinese province, the Chinese government blocked the whole province, says you can't come over here. You can't say you didn't know after that. I mean, you can't say you didn't know it was going to be this bad, but when it happens, you got to wear it. How else can you not wear it?
I mean, I think what I said still holds. You can't actually know that, because what can you really do? All you could do was just start to travel from China. Because remember, China, hold on. China was hiding it. They were trying to say, oh, it ain't nothing going on. The World Health Organization, which we were giving the most money to out of everybody, all the other countries, they're saying, oh, there's a human-to-human transmission. Don't shut off the travel. They were saying that. So if we went by their advice, people that we're paying to help with things like this, then we'd be in much more trouble. So Trump went outside of what people that were being paid to tell us certain things were telling us, and shut travel off. So, I mean, I'm not sure that can be placed upon Trump. I mean, there is a bad thing happening. There is a bad thing happening right now. Somebody might say, oh, because Trump's in there, then it's his fault. But I think that's just unfair.
Well, let me ask you, do you think you got your $618 billion money's worth? If it was your money, your own personal money, would you say, you know what, I got my money's worth. It is what it is. Or would you say, nah, I can't. I need my money back, dog, or something to that effect?
Yeah, I mean, because look, this is not thing you could just control. It's like, okay, if I buy a house and then the hurricane hits and it falls down, what am I going to say? Oh, I get my money's worth? It's supposed to stand up. It's supposed to not fall. I mean, a hurricane hit. What am I going to do?
Nah. Well, no, because you're supposed to say, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole behind the analogies and everything. But here's the thing. to your point, I mean, to what you said was, hey, you know, the World Health Organization or China government was hiding it, right? But again, if you have $680 billion, what you're going to tell me as justification is, well, they didn't tell us. Well, I could have gave you no money and they could have not told us. You know what I'm saying?
What will that money do to actually predict this will happen?
All right, so this is what you do. Hey, we got people over there. Hey, listen, look, they shutting down whole provinces over here. Okay. Oh, what's today's date? January 10th, whatever. Right now, keep in mind, right? You got these tests that's being run like right now for like these medicines like remdesivir or whatever. Right. We're on the 5th week of the lockdown. Right. And Fauci and all these guys are saying probably another month we'll at least have a medicine or at least have the results of the test, right? So it's 9 weeks, all right? So let's say, what can that money do if it could have bought us 4 more weeks, potentially?
Of what?
People over there saying 4 weeks of time, saying instead of saying, okay, it's whatever date that he stopped the flight, for $681 billion, I feel like you could have saw what was going on pretty much from the beginning.
Solve what though?
But if not to be, saw the fact that hey, something's going on. There's a virus. People are dying. Then saw, hey, they're shutting stuff down. Hey, wait a minute, they're building a standalone hospital. Wait a minute, they're not letting people go from this province to that province. This is all before.
Well, we shut the travel off. That was in January.
After that. Yeah, right. But when the people that were when they shut down province to province travel, that was before that.
So when was that? When did that happen?
About 2 weeks before.
Okay. So I mean, like I was telling you, the people that we were paying, the World Health Organization, they said don't shut off travel, but we did going against it. Right. So it can't just be like, oh, we're paying money, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Trump went outside of that and still, you know, got heat. He got heat from people that said, oh, you shouldn't have done that. That's the wrong thing. And then the governors, they weren't really with it. The mayors, they weren't really with it. They were saying he did the wrong thing. He did all he could do in a situation. I think Trump was really one of the only guys that did the right thing. So I think it's unfair to lay that on him. But hey, it's been a great call. I got a few more on the line, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Later.
All right, peace. All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, that's unfair because, like I said, WHO, they're saying don't cut off any travel. It's on human-to-human transmission. Everything is fine. And Trump did that. And when he did it, oh, you're racist. You're xenophobe. You shouldn't have done it. People like Nancy Pelosi and the others, hey, go out, have fun, travel. It's all good. That's what was being said. So, I mean, yeah. Somebody could say that it's Trump's fault because he's the guy in office and it happened. You could say it's his fault because he was the guy on watch, but I think that's not really fair. But that's just me. All right, let's get to the next call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let me go ahead and get to... All right, hold on one second. All right, caller, you on the line, 23 now. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Oh, man, I am tired of hearing about this coronavirus. Hell, I'm tired of being home right now.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
Oh, man. Oh, I'll make this quick. I always make this quick. I have 2 questions for you. Question number 1 is Joe Biden. They're both Joe Biden questions, just so you know. But the first question with Joe Biden, because I don't want to talk about the coronavirus. First question number 1 with Joe Biden, okay? Remember when he said that he was going to pick a minority woman to be his support, his VP?
Yeah.
Well, I went on Twitter because I had nothing better to do, and some people on Twitter were talking about, oh, it's going to be Michelle Obama. So I want to ask you, what do you think? Who do you think is going to be his VP if it is a woman of minority? Because there's a lot of people popping up saying it's going to be me.
Now, I'll tell you this. Now, he wants Michelle Obama. That's who he wants, but he's not going to be able to get her because Michelle Obama is above this. Because, look, okay, she's already in the White House for 8 years as a first lady under her husband, obviously, Barack Obama. And now she's doing all kind of stuff with Netflix, and she's traveling the world doing speaking engagements. If anything, she want to be the president, not the vice president.
That's true.
And she definitely wouldn't want to run with a guy that's going to lose and a guy that's halfway out of his mind like Joe Biden is. So that's a non-starter right there. I think he's going to pick Stacey M1 Abrams.
That's the chick from that's the governess that lost or something like that, right?
She believes that she won the governorship of Georgia,
right.
But she did not win. She
Georgia
lost to Brian Kemp. Right. So
then there's this other one that they say is going to do Nina something. I think
Nina Simone.
I don't know what her name is. I think. So that's why I wanted to ask you which one of those two.
Nah, Nina Simone was like she's not in politics. She's just like a strategist. She wouldn't. That's a non-starter. I think it'd be Stacey M1 Abrams or also Keisha Lance Bottoms, who is the mayor of Atlanta.
That's the one. Okay, yeah. That's the one. But which one do you think would be the would be the pick?
Stacey M1 for sure.
True. And now here's my second question with Biden, because again I don't want to talk about the coronavirus. I just want to get the thing over with. I swear I am done. I want to get back to work. You know, my business took a really big hit, and I'm ready to open the doors again. But here's the second question with Biden. Okay, we know about Biden's corruption. We know about the media covering up for Biden. We know about all this and the whole sexual allegation with Joe Biden and everything. We know everything bad about Joe Biden, but yet they're still propping him up like he is going to be the nominee. And now that Bernie's out, he's definitely the nominee. And my question to you is, because you told me at one point that they could pick whoever they want when they get to the the convention, the final convention. They can pick whoever, you know what I'm saying? And Cuomo has said that he does not and will not definitely be president. You know what I mean? So my question to you is, if more stuff and more decline starts coming out from Joe Biden and more things, and the convention's like, okay, maybe we shouldn't pick Joe Biden, who else do you think they would pick out of the blue to run for president? You think it'd be Hillary again, or
no? Because
say the baggage on Joe Biden 3 months from now is just so much, or 4 months from now is just so much. When it's actual convention time, they're like, okay, we can't run with this guy right here. We will lose. Let's count our chips and see what we got and put it all on somebody. Who do you think that would be?
It would normally be Cuomo, but since he has a crisis going on, he might not do it. So if it's not Cuomo, it'll probably be Pocahontas.
No way.
Yeah, because
Elizabeth Warren. That's a bigger loss.
Hey, but see, they're trying to. They might even know they're going to lose, but see, they're trying to be strategic. It's all about trying to set the stage for the next time they try to run, whether it be the presidential or midterm, to see, hey, we have diversity. We have a 70-year-old white woman that believes she's Indian, so we're going to put her out there in the front. So we have diversity. So that might be what they try to do, if not Biden.
Because they all didn't actually drop out. They suspended their campaign or something like that, right? Isn't that different than dropping out?
Well, it's the same thing, but at the same time, like it's the same thing. Like nobody really drops out because they could come back, like in the convention or something like that. So nobody really drops out, but they do kind of drop out because if you're not raising any money, if you're not campaigning, if you fire your staff, you pretty much have dropped out. Although technically you could still come back and become the president if elected during the contested convention.
So you don't think they'd go after like Buttigieg or Andrew Yang or Tulsi Gabbard? I mean,
not Gabbard.
Have more of a
not Gabbard or Yang because they're too much. How can I say, sympathetic to the left or to the far left part? I mean, that's to the left, but they're too much into the AOC type world. Maybe even Amy Klobuchar. That's what they want. They don't really want a Yang or a Gabbard. That might be a little bit too far for them. They want somebody that is more easily controlled. Now, all of them, like I said, they're going to support Joe Biden, so they're kind of controllable that way. But when it comes to them becoming the president, they don't want kind of a wild horse out there. They want somebody that's a little bit more controllable.
And last question is a follow-up to this question. What are the chances of a Hillary repop?
It's possible,
like just
but
popping back up at the convention.
it's possible, but I don't see it because I think that everybody knows they're going to lose on the left. I think everybody knows that. I mean, they pretty much come out and said that they're going to lose. They can't really. If the pundits are saying they're going to lose. The media, the enforcement arm of the Democratic Party, they're saying they're pretty much going to lose. So I think they know they're going to lose.
How is that? If like they have polls and Joe Biden's saying on the polls, it shows that I beat Trump every time, and with the polls with Bernie Sanders, it said that too. That always confused me as well because the polls they talk about. Oh, look at the polls. I'm beating them nationally. I'm like, how is that possible?
Yeah, the polls don't mean much because the polls last time said that Trump had no chance, 98% chance he'll lose against Hillary Clinton, and we saw how that worked out. So the polls don't really mean much. I think they know in their heart of hearts that Joe Biden has no chance. I mean, especially when he goes out there and campaigns some more. Like, imagine Joe Biden on a debate stage against Donald Trump. I mean, he'll lose 10 points in the night just having a debate against Donald Trump.
Dude. I could see Donald Trump being the kind of person that just one of his like campaign like ads is just Tara Reid talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
He plays like that, man. Just 2 minutes of her testimony. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I can see he has so much dirt on him. Why would they pick this guy? I think they want to lose. That's the thing. I think they want to lose because they make a lot of money. Like what I think of, and I'll let you go after I say this, I think the media wants season 2 of Trump because they know they make their money with Trump. They're not going to make their money with Biden. I think we all want season 2 of Trump.
That's right. That's right.
So anyway, thank you for everything, man. Thank you for entertaining me during this time too, man. It is such a bore being home. I want to go back to work. That's all I want to do.
All right, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Yeah. So who you guys think is going to be the VP nominee or VP pick? Is it going to be Stacey M1 Abrams? Is it going to be Keisha Lance Bottoms, Pocahontas, Amy Klobuchar, Kamala Harris? That was popular when I did the poll on Twitter, and I said who's going to be the VP pick? Stacey Abrams, Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton. I forget who else I put in there, but Kamala Harris had it far and away. She was leading candidate that they thought would become a nominee. But let me get to the next call. All right, Jordan, what's happening?
Nothing much, ABL. Yourself?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, you talked about the fake virus numbers. I want to mention something. The New York Times published an article today, and I'll just read you the title so you understand what I mean. New York City death toll soars past 10,000 in revised virus count. The city has added more than 3,700 additional people who were presumed to have died of the coronavirus but had never tested positive.
So how did they figure that out? Did they exhume them to test them? Did they have some kind of tissue from them to test them? I'm not sure how they did that, but
no, it's based off of circumstance. So, and this is from the CDC's guidelines themselves. So before people think I'm peddling conspiracy theories, this is from them. So let's say you're like an 80-year-old who's in the hospital and you die during this whole pandemic, and it's discovered that your son or your daughter tested positive for coronavirus. You can presume without testing that that woman or that man, the old guy, died from coronavirus and just put on their death certificate coronavirus and add them to the death toll without them actually being tested on whether they have it or not. So there is legitimate reason for why people think these numbers are being inflated. So for all these CNN hacks who sit here talk about conspiracy theories need to recheck their stance, because if the New York Times is saying this, then this can't be a conspiracy.
So, okay, it kind of lost me a little bit. So people, it's like certain guidelines that they say that person may have it.
May have it, but they don't have to test positive for it.
Yeah, I feel like that's not right, because if you're going to put out numbers and says that, okay, these people have the virus, then it shouldn't be a matter of may, it should be a matter of should. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it should be confirmed and not just, maybe they did, maybe they didn't, probably, but nah, I need some more positive, more confirmed numbers than that.
Yeah, exactly. But adding it to the death toll. So don't be surprised if it finds out that these numbers are inflated in the near future. And I want to talk about China for a moment because China, you can hear me, right?
I hear you well, yes.
All right. China isn't just the king of diseases. They're also the king of counterfeit stuff. So the UK had to recall test kits from China that were faulty. And some of them even had traces of coronavirus on them. Oh, and that's not the only one. Illinois, I got this article about Illinois. So Illinois and I think other cities are desperate to, shoot. Hold on. Okay. They're desperate to find masks because of the low supply of them. So for some reason, they went to China and they spent $17 million on the KN95 masks in China. But now other states like Missouri are now recalling them because they're not up to standards with the Center for Disease Control.
I mean, but see, like the crazy part is that they're buying them from China. It's like, have we learned nothing? Have we learned nothing from this whole situation? The stuff from China is not good. Especially you talking about, okay, you want to get like a toy or something or a cell phone, maybe. That's kind of a stretch. But anyway, a mask to protect your life, you get it from China where the virus started. Come on. I'm seeing videos, not sure exactly where they're from or what time it was, but you got videos of some factory somewhere, people in there barefoot, throwing masks on the ground. They stepping on them with their bare feet, toe jam and everything else all up in the respirator. It's like, look, I don't got no time for that. Okay, how about I get some things that I know are going to be quality and not be having a virus on it, not working. I mean, really, at this particular point, make your own mask. Just get a cloth from your table, cut it up, put it over your face, call it a day. That's safer than trying to get some high-tech mask from China that's going to be halfway produced with all kind of stuff on it that you don't even know what it is. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's just amazing. People want to jerk off China a lot, even right now. Like, look at the WHO. They don't look at the whole relationship between the WHO, China, and Taiwan. They don't even want to. Taiwan was one of the first people to find out about this coronavirus thing, and one of the first people to find out there was human-to-human transaction, and warned China about this, and they didn't care. They don't, and then the WHO hopped on China's bandwagon and started saying stuff back in January and February, like, "Oh, this isn't a pandemic. Masks aren't necessary, and all of that." Meanwhile, Taiwan completely ignored their advice, and they have one of the, if not the lowest reported cases of coronavirus right now.
And Taiwan is right there by China, right off the coast, and they got some of the lowest cases. But over here in the U.S., we're getting inundated.
Yeah, because we apparently are China's lapdog. I hear like Stephen Colbert praising the WHO, and I'm wondering why. You know, if the WHO did their job effectively instead of BSing everyone in the world, this probably wouldn't even be happening. The thing is that the WHO hate Taiwan so much. They don't even know what to call Taiwan. They don't consider it independent. They just want to call it China or Taiwan China, some affiliation with China. There's a great Reason TV, like if you go on the YouTube channel Reason TV, there is a video about how the WHO is corrupted by China. And one of the people who works at the WHO, a major player, was interviewed by a female Hong Kong journalist.
I saw that. I did a video. I think I may have shown it on stream where it was an interview where the reporter was asking the WHO guy about how Taiwan was doing and the good job that Taiwan did. And he was just like, "Oh, well, China's doing very well." I was like, "Well, no, I asked about Taiwan, not China."
No, that was just the recall. Before that, he pretended like he didn't hear the question.
Yeah.
And then they repeated it. He just cut the feed.
Right.
But I mean, god dang, man. It's amazing how throughout all this, we're still acting like China is a hero. It's real pitiful. I can't even fathom how much influence China really has, even in the midst of all this. It's just, I mean, I'm just amazed by it. I wonder how we can stop that from happening.
I mean, we got to start. We got to start sometime. The best time is now, especially with, we're going to need a lot of jobs in this country. How about we just start to do some manufacturing here to get some of these jobs back? Because that's the main thing. Like, China just manufactures so much stuff. We used to manufacture stuff here in the U.S., but now we import things and we have service-based jobs here for the most part. We do make things here, but not as much as we did in the past. China makes everything because they make it for so cheap. But we got to be able to get some of that stuff back. And especially, our medical things that we need, it shouldn't be so much China-centric. We should do more of that stuff here.
Yeah, like I'll right quick before I go. Japan is contemplating paying Japanese workers in China billions of dollars to get their companies out of the country.
Yeah, wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. So, all right, that's all I got. I'll talk about Elon Musk next time because I got some stuff to say about that. So, I'll chat you up later, ABL.
All right, thank you for the call, man.
Chat.
All right, now, peace. All right, good call from my man Jordan. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank you all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Don't be afraid to call. I'm going to try to get you on as soon as I can. Y'all hang tight. Let's go. 206 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, this is Dougie from Kekistan.
All right,
man.
Everything is good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I'm hanging in there, still up in Seattle. Wow, man. I'm glad you didn't end up like Dorothy, man. I'm really happy.
Like who?
It didn't, like Dorothy.
Who's that?
In the twist.
Oh, yeah. Nah. We didn't get swept up. It's all good. Everything's fine.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, we praying for you, man, and rest in peace to the victims, man.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, no, you made me think about Seattle, man. You had to clean up like their poop and throw it in the garbage can, man, and then the other ones go through it and pull it out and throw it all over the place, man. You got to take a leaf blower to them all the time, So, man, that one guy was right. We need a little bit more comedy, a little bit less stressing out over all this, and that's why my last call was all weird. I'm just trying to, make people laugh, man. Like that guy out there, what did he say? He said, "No, you supposed to say." That is the best line in your whole show today, man. No, you're supposed to say. I was cracking up when he said that, man. And not only, hey, man, Trump didn't get the Pentagon budget that high, all right? Basically it goes trade war, right? And that ended with the cash for clunkers when China stopped taking treasury bonds. Then currency war, we've been in that now, right? And then real war, right? So maybe we should just don't mess with the Pentagon at the moment. We might need them real bad. So, the guy from Seattle was given financial advice for this and that, and you wanted to learn about prepping. I seen you said that in one of your videos, and so I'll teach you a little about prepping. Right? The consensus is the first three rules of prepping is water, and more water. Right? Mm-hmm. But it's site specific. It's individual specific. So. If you're out in the desert, man, you want a swimming pool, right? Up here in Seattle, we got puddles and bogs and streams everywhere. All you need is a little filter, right? And the same kind of thing, goes for, like real estate. Two guys lose their jobs. One hadn't even paid the principal off. The other one, he's 80% done, The bank's going to foreclose on the one that's been almost totally paid off because they can cover the difference. So that's why you don't want...
Wait, hold on. So... the bank will foreclose on the one that's close to being paid off versus the one that just, got on the market as far as a mortgage.
Exactly. So they're not going to evict you because they can't find nobody else to take it for that price. Now, you might have to, redo your mortgage later, but it all depends on who you are. If you're an old, a baby boomer and you only have $100,000 left, and it looks like they might be cutting your pension and all that, and 401k, man, you got to sell that house right now because people in Seattle are always buying. Our real estate's half the price of California. We can bring people from California up here. They don't need to have babies. You know what I mean? Like we got apartments that were building all over the place up here. You know, cranes everywhere, man. We, you know, just in the small town I mean, there's probably another 10,000 available rooms in the next year. So, what this has to do with is the municipalities, right? They're all in debt. They all have different union contracts. They need to keep them closed for a certain period of time so they can permanently lay off those union employees. Otherwise, they got to give them all back pay. So Trump's leaving it up to the municipalities to tell everybody that they're broke. So then you got like SF Barista was talking about like Edmonds is giving $500 tickets, right? They broke. That city already charges homeowner fees, right? You can tell, how much they're trying to tax you on how broke they are. So, like with prepping, my first rule of prepping is actually the first rule of AA, and that is admit you have a problem.
Okay.
Right? You know what I mean? And you can make a list, and you can go over all the important things: food, clothing, water, shelter, financial, what you're basically at, and basically look, how is your exposure? How can you make it better? Because everybody's got a different life. You know what I mean? And so everybody's got different exposure. They live in different places. I told you over and over again. I grew up in San Fran. Right around, just tons of fake corporate scientists. Masons, Rosicrucians, Shriners, Satanists, Luciferians, non-denominational. Rasta. I mean, Christians were probably the least. The smallest group in San Fran, and these people, man, they, there's so much hate, towards human beings. They really do love animals more, and they're cool with everybody, getting hurt and sick. And I talked to my buddy in San Francisco, and I told him about the hydroxychloroquine. I was like, I knew about that 6 months ago. I told you before I think Trump did, right? And because I heard it from all the other countries. And yet these people, they hate Trump so much, man, they're willing to not go to the hospital and just ask for the Z-Pack, and the hydro. And it's like, wow, man, if I was still one of them, if I was still that kid who grew up a block away from Anton LaVey, who wrote the Satanic Bible, I was like Jericho Green's little boy with the ninja suit on. And I knew what was happening in that house, man. When the painters came in after he moved, they said they had to paint like 8 layers because it was all black, and with padding on the rooms. And you could hear screams, man. And that's how I've known for so long because, they told us about the Christian, trafficking and all that. They basically showed us one side of the coin. And so, yeah, these people, if it was on the other side of the foot, they wouldn't even bother telling the Christians. You know what I mean? Like the people in the rural, like when Oprah said she wanted to kill all them racists, it's the truth. It's the truth. Ivan shouldn't underestimate the deep state. You got different levels of deep state. Trump obviously does have some kind of approval from the uppest, they're the highest echelons. They're globalists. They live in other countries, man. But it really boils down to every judge that betrayed the Constitution, betrayed their oath, and filed for sanctuary jurisdiction. It's a perfect litmus test. Okay, it basically disbars them all because they're basically traitors to foreign nationalists and foreign entities. And so it's really easy. If Trump wants to do it right, all he has to do, is make the sanctuary jurisdictions part of the United States again. Because I want to know what's going on with that because I'm going to try to move, man. I don't want to be in a globalist territory.
No, I'm with you.
That's what Seattle is, basically, And so I know you got other calls to get to. Yeah. But it's always a pleasure talking to you. And just remember, man, if they're paying out billions of dollars in private vaccine courts so that they can seal the joint statements of evidence and gag the expert witnesses, well, there's only one logical conclusion. And those 500,000 Indian people who were paralyzed from that Gates vaccine, I'm telling you, and then the Chad incident, his dad is a famous eugenicist, man. I mean, I've known that my whole life. They really do. They just want to kill off most of the population. Hey, tomorrow, anniversary of the shot heard around the world, man.
All right, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, one love to the ABL Imaginarium. Talk to you on the flip side.
I know. shout out to my man. He's a great caller, but you got to be paying attention. He drops a lot of knowledge on these internets. And thank y'all for being here yet again. You guys are fantastic. Give me a thumbs up on the video if you like what you're hearing so far, if you like the content in general. And if you are not subscribed yet, if you are a first-time viewer or whatever the case may be, go ahead and subscribe right now. I'd appreciate you for that. We got super chats on deck. Shout out to Matthew who says, look at kitco.com. Silver is dirt cheap, but all out of stock. I had to phone in the order at $18 an ounce. We need to wait months to get delivery. Well, hey, thank you for that. Most certainly appreciate it. Shout out to Resurge Bento Conservador for your donation. I most certainly appreciate it. Thank you to Eric Burns Marsh who says left is socially distanced away from our freedoms. I like that one. Thank you for that donation. Shout out to True Star for the donation. Thank you. Who says ABL keep speaking up, bro. Will do. As long as y'all keep on watching, I'm gonna keep on speaking. Thank y'all for being here. Shout out to Hiker 867 who says the super chat emoji and donation. I appreciate you for that. Shout out to Matthew again who says Trump could lose, Democrats will pick someone else, not Biden. Thank you for that. Shout out to Lori Double O who says it's ironic that the stay-home lefties refer to us as tinfoil hatters because we want to go outside and work. Exactly. Why is that tinfoil hat? Can I go outside and work? Can I provide for myself? Can I just get some food to eat, water to drink, somewhere to live? Like, what's the big deal? A lot of these lefties, they 35 years old, stay at home with their mom, never left house. They live in their basement eating chicken tendies and pizza all day long, don't understand how the money gets to them. They think, oh, you could just stay home. I stay home all day. You can stay home too. That's not how it works. But let me get to some more calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I'm going to go ahead and get to the next call. And we're going to get to 931. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Allie from North Carolina. How are you?
I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I have the position that I think this is a crime of opportunity from the Democrats. I think the numbers are definitely inflated, and I think that this is conditioning for control of the population, getting used to drones, getting used to being tracked without your consent, giving up your civil liberties for what you think is safety. So that's the most concerning part about it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they see opportunity and they're not letting it go to waste. So what they say, if it's a crisis out there, don't let it go to waste. Take advantage of it, and they're trying to do all kind of things. I mean, you saw that with the bill that they pushed forward. I mean, what does abortion and minimum wage got to do with the coronavirus relief effort? They're trying to put things in there while the pandemic is happening. When people are panicking, they think they can just do and not have to really be seen by anybody. They're just trying to sneak things through the cracks. And they're also trying to, put people in really strict controlled situations, denying them the right to be able to buy guns and go here, go there. So, yeah, definitely crime of opportunity for sure.
But I think it's almost like a coup d'etat of the economy almost. So this was an opportunistic time to take advantage of the situation. So, for example, you've got people who are being conditioned to accept government help. And while some help is not bad, they're being conditioned to believe that the government is meant to take care of them. But then on the flip side, trying to make it seem like it's the president's fault so that when Democrats take in power, you're used to this conditioning. It's taking capitalism and turning it into almost like a socialistic communist state, if you will. For example, if you see something, say something, turn your neighbor in if they're minding their own business and they're out in their backyard doing something. But if you see them not socially distancing, you need to call the police. I think it's absurd. And these are the same Democrats that say if you call your police on your neighbor and your neighbor gets shot, then we got to protest. But yet you don't want people to protest, getting rid of small businesses. It's absolutely hypocritical. And one last point, you have people who say they're essential workers, frontline workers, Amazon workers, grocery store workers who, get on the news and they complain about, well, you shouldn't be buying this and you shouldn't be buying that, and we should get paid hazard paid. And what I don't think people realize is this. I'm a network engineer, and a lot of the times we talk about jobs going to automation. And if I was Walmart and if I was Amazon and I had my employees bitching, excuse my language, What I would do is I would just automate more. So, for example, before this all started, you notice that most of your Walmarts lost their cashiers to automated checkout systems. Well, now if you go into the stores, a lot of us are using automated checkout systems. I think it's conditioning to show, hey, it's safer to use these automated checkout places so that you don't have to have face-to-face interaction. We lay off these people, put more people in poverty, rely more on computers and such. So if I were them, I would, be happy to have a job when so many people don't. But I think this is going to push us into a deeper state of depression, and I don't think it's going to come back as easy as they say it does. So that's just my concern. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
Now, you're right about that. It's the same thing with the minimum wage. You're trying to talk about, we got to have minimum wage very high, $15. It's like, all you're going to do is usher in automation because they're looking at the cost of how much it's going to be. Okay, I have to pay an employee double what I'm paying them right now, which is already my biggest expense in payroll. And, taxes and everything else is super high. So what I'm going to do is buy a machine for however much it costs, $100,000. I'm going to look at the cost over a period of time and see that I would come out doing better with a machine versus an actual human being. Therefore, that job is lost. I give money to the people that actually make the machine, and that'll be that. It'll be the same thing with anybody else wanting to complain, not wanting to do their job properly. Okay, exactly. I put a machine in there, and the job gets done. So you could complain all you want to. It doesn't really matter because I'm still going to get the job done regardless, whether you're here or not.
And then the other thing is that I was watching the news conference with Dr. Fauci and Dr. Burke, and they're talking about, we must test nucleic acid and whatever for antibodies and all this stuff, but also do mass testing for different diseases. And what people don't realize is that your information is being sold to insurance companies and everything. So you've got the same people complaining, but you have to realize your civil liberties mean something, because what happens when, let's say you didn't have coronavirus, but you had something else? Well, guess what? Your premium is now going to go up $1,000 or so, or you might lose your insurance. People just are not thinking straight. I think it's a crime of opportunity. I think it's a coup d'etat, and that's just how I feel. But I'm also fellow African American. I think African Americans for Trump. So thank you so much for what you do, and I'll get off the line. Thanks.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. All right, great call. But yeah, the whole thing about the automation, that's real. You're not doing your job properly. You want to act like, I don't want to be here, this, that, and the third. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and buy a machine. If the cost makes sense, then I'll just go ahead and keep on rocking and rolling. So it is what it is. All righty. Let me get to the next call. 863, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
This is Deborah Pippin from Auburndale, Florida.
All righty. What's going on?
Well, you know what? I've been listening to people call in this afternoon or tonight, and I see that there's no women's opinions about anything to talk about. But what I really want to focus on is that what is going on about the fact that right now we need to make a new stimulus package for other people. And we can't get the Democrats back to Washington, D.C. to intercept what needs to be done. And I'm just curious, do you have an opinion on that? Or am I just the only one thinking, what is going on with Pelosi and her ice cream? Can't she come back long enough to take care of American people?
Well, Pelosi, she don't really care nothing about that. She's just, the Democratic Party at this particular point, they're more concerned about getting their ideology through. They don't really care about too much of anything else. So, that's really what that is. And then what they'll do when, the program for the small business loans runs out of money, they'll say, oh, that's Trump's fault. No, they just try to blame everything on Trump, try to blame everything on the Republicans, and not taking responsibility themselves. Like the whole thing is their fault. We're trying to get more money into the whole thing to get people their monies that they need to keep their businesses going. We're trying to actually do that on the right, but the left are the ones blocking it. They're the ones that are actually trying to come to vote, but then they're blaming it on us and try to use it as some kind of political talking point. It's really a shame. They're playing games with people's lives here in America, but that's pretty much how they operate nowadays, 2020. It is what it is.
Yes, I agree 100%. Don't these people see that Joe Biden is part of Pelosi and the whole Sam family on that side? And why isn't he encouraging them, saying, hey, I'm running for president. I think you need to get back here, get back to D.C., get back to the Congress. Let's get this done. Let's make these people, let's get them out of debt. Let's keep a food on their table. Let's keep a roof over their head. How come he, who's running for president, hasn't got off his booty and out of that basement, or even in his basement, and said something to them? He's not said one thing.
Well, I mean, I'm not really sure what can be done. I think all they can do is just come back and get things rocking. That's the main thing.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your honesty. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
God bless you.
All right. Shout out to the caller. All right. Let's get to the next call. 902, you know the line. Who am I speaking to? 902.
Hey, how's it going?
Everything's good. About yourself?
Oh, well, you know what? I'm not too bad over here in Canada.
All righty. So what's on your mind? What's happening?
Well, you're being very, very kind of semi-aggressive.
Me? I'm being aggressive?
Well, because you know what? So I'm a Trump supporter. I'm here in Canada. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm telling you, aggressive because there's that kind of a war going on. Is that too much to say that?
I couldn't quite make out what you said. You said there's a war going on about where?
No, well, because the worst thing about it here, I'll be on the phone for maybe 40 minutes trying to get a hook up with you.
Okay.
And I haven't been listening to the conversations going before.
Okay.
So this whole entire internet thing, I've been listening on Tim Pool. I'm a Tim Pool supporter.
Okay.
So the biggest question is right now is why, when I got off the video, because I have my phone, right, and I can't call you at the same time when I'm listening to you. That's a big interruption problem, and I love that you're doing that radio thing plus that YouTube thing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I know, and
you there, caller? I can't hear you.
Because you're being passive a little bit.
I don't understand. Hold on, caller. Wait, caller. What's going on here? I don't understand what's happening.
My name's Dimitri.
Caller. Okay. Now, what you have to understand, are you talking to the computer or are you talking to the phone? Which one?
No, I'm talking to the phone.
Okay, so you said I'm being passive. What am I doing?
Well, because look, I'm Canadian, right? Born and raised in Toronto. I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I know you have to give the timeline between the conference, but there's a person that hassled you with the moment that he was telling you that about what Trump. There's a confusion in the world right now, right? So the biggest question right now is, and I've been waiting for so long to hypoventilate my emotions, but I try to confine my emotions. So the biggest thing, what you're trying to do right now, the beautiful thing you're trying to do YouTube with radio, but when people are trying to call you, even if they support you a little bit, but even they want to contradict you because they want to prove their own point of view, because
Caller, listen, caller. You got to get to it. I'm sorry, but you got to get to your point.
I'm gonna get to you right now. Okay, look, point, the big point is this: people want to be right. Okay, correct?
Okay.
Correct.
But caller, you're talking a lot. But I'm asking you a question. How am I being passive? I need you to answer very quickly because we got time constraints here.
You're being passive because you're not being aggressive enough.
Okay, so I'm not being aggressive enough. Okay, so you're saying like at first you were saying I'm being semi-aggressive, but I wasn't being too aggressive. Oh, okay, I got you. I understand now.
Okay, I love you. I've been listening to you for like many months, if not a year, like many months or a year. I listen to Paul. I'm a Trumper. I live in Nova Scotia. I'm Canadian. I'm Greek. On top of that too, I understand that there's a big psychology mind spin, but look, and I wish you keep doing this. And then, but I have to figure out a way where I can interact. I haven't been listening to you for the past 45 minutes with your YouTube.
I got you, caller. So what you could do really, the best caller. Hold on, caller. Listen to me. The best thing you could do is just, it's hard to get in. That's just kind of how it is. Like people try to get in sometimes.
No, I get it.
Hold on, caller. Listen to me now. Listen. Now, what you can do is just watch the show, interact with the chat. If the process of getting is kind of hard, I understand. Just watch the show, interact with the chat. Hold on, caller. I gotta be able to talk now. Hold on now. Now, just interact with the show through the chat. That's the best thing to do. But I got more calls on the line. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, cheers, brother.
All righty. Yeah, it's hard to get into the show. That's just the nature of it. But I mean, what am I gonna do? You try to call C-SPAN or something like that. Good luck with that. But let me get to the next call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you're on the line for a long time, I can't do nothing about it. That's not my fault. Let's get to it. Next call. All right, caller 732. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 732. You're on the line.
Oh, what's up, man?
Everything's good, man. Who am I speaking to?
First time, long time.
All right, I got feedback in the background. I got feedback. Am I on speaker?
Not anymore.
Okay, good money. So what's going on, caller?
I just want to talk to you about the Payroll Protection Act, man.
Okay, go for it.
2 weeks ago, I applied for it, and I was with Wells Fargo. At first, when I applied, I called them. They had no idea what I was talking about. They didn't have any guidelines whatsoever. Finally, a week ago, about 8 days ago on the 10th, they finally came out with a application that they could go through with the government with. Filled it out, and sure enough, they ran out. In the meantime, I was with TD. They couldn't do anything for me. I own 2 trucks. I run out of the ports in New Jersey, and the ports obviously are a little slowed down right now because of China, and still haven't gotten anything. So far I've applied with TD, I've applied with Wells Fargo, and they haven't done anything. And of course they ran out of money at this point. So I hate to say it, I'm a Trumper, but they haven't done much for me as of late, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird situation because one thing I was hearing, I'm still on speaker a little bit, so I hear myself in the background. Okay, so one thing I was seeing from a lot of the banks is that, this is a new thing. They don't really know how to implement it. And it's kind of a situation that's been unprecedented. I mean, when have we ever been told by the government you can't work for a month? You could barely go outside and do things like that. So it's kind of a unique situation. It's actually a very unique situation that a lot of these banks aren't really prepared to deal with. So that's kind of the thing. And we're trying to get more money back into the system to help people like yourself that were not able to get through the first round. But now you got politics getting in the way. So there's only so much Trump can do as one individual that has limited power in the government. He's not a king. He can't rule by fiat. He can't just go give every business the money himself and a cash envelope. So you got to go through these weird checks and balances. Hopefully we're able to get through that and get something accomplished, because the way it is right now, people playing the political games are getting in the way of you getting the money that you need.
Exactly. And why, since you turned the tables on me, what are your thoughts on the Kennedy Center getting money? Like, is Pelosi absolutely full of it, or am I out of my mind?
No, you're not out of your mind. You're right on point. Pelosi's full of it. The Democrats in general are full of it. That bill was not really a good bill. but something had to get done because the one before that was even worse. That goes back to the whole political games. You know, you got these people in the left and someone on the right playing games with the money. It's like, okay, meanwhile, people are starving. They need food. The mortgages due, rent, whatever they got to do, car note, gas, food. It's due, and it's due now. They're not going to just be like, oh, you can pay whenever you want. Nah, they're still going to be due. You know, you're seeing some commercials from car insurance companies talking about, okay, we give you a discount on your re-up. Okay, that's nice, but how about I get it for free? No, it's not going to be free. You still got to pay car insurance. You still got to pay your car note. You still got to pay health insurance. All these things are still due. So people are playing games and you got to get something done. So an imperfect bill was passed. Now we're trying to get more money and the same thing is going on. So it's really a mess.
Actually, my truck car insurance, my commercial insurance is due. My car insurance on the personal side is canceled. Well, it's not canceled, but it's furloughed. I don't have to pay that for 3 months yet. I'm still paying my guys.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested and they want to look at like live gate cams of the ports of New York and New Jersey, and I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever. It's Bi-State Motor Carriers. If you just basically Google NJ Ports cams, the first link that comes up is Bi-State Motor Carriers, and they show the live gate cams in and out of the ports. There is absolutely no traffic whatsoever. It used to be backed up to the street as far as the eye can see. And with China being messed up with this since January and before December, we're all just sitting on our hands. I'm paying my guys over $1,000 a week, and I thought I was getting this money back, and it's not happening as of yet. I'm hoping Pelosi is going to get off her hands, but we're sitting here in disbelief.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. I'm right there with you. So hopefully we can get this whole thing through and they stop playing games in D.C. with people's money and their livelihood.
All right, man. Thank you for your time. Thanks for listening to me vent. And, yeah, keep up the good work, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, we got to stop playing these political games, man. Get people back to work. Get their money back in for sure. All right, let's go. 323 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Anthony. I got through to you. I'm so excited. I watch you all the time. Okay. My question is this, dear. Why is it, and this has puzzled me since this whole thing has happened, why is it that are we on live or no?
We're live right now, yes.
Okay. Why aren't we, or most of us, blaming China? Why? I'm just dumbfounded. Why is it that we're blaming Trump immediately? Why isn't that we are not up in arms with China?
Because some people just want to blame Trump anyway. It doesn't matter if there's physical evidence that China are the ones that did this to us, that the epicenter was in China, that they're the ones that intentionally misled the world about the virus. They said there was no human-to-human transmission. They said that don't restrict any travel from China. They'll just find a way to blame who they want to blame. It doesn't really matter. Like a person can go outside and drop something on the ground and break it, and then say, "Oh, I didn't do that. It was Trump that did it. He made me do it." But it's like I just saw you do it. You had it in your hand. Right. You threw it on the ground. He says, "Nope, it's not me. Trump did it." And people that don't like Trump will say, "Yeah, Trump did it." Although you just saw the guy throw it on the ground. That's kind of how people are.
I'm just dumbfounded because I look at it like that's my thing is this. Let's say you have a little brother and he gets whooped, okay? And you have to take him to the hospital and he gets stitches. Well, the stitches are kind of messed up. Well, aren't you going to blame the kid who whipped your brother and, you'll deal with the doctor later? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how I see it. But it just, I'm dumbfounded by that. It's just, the other thing I had a question on is, I don't know if you watch and that guy, and he just reminds me of Carl Winslow. He has a talk radio show too, or like what's his name? I can't think of it. Anyhow, he had some women on his show, And they were saying, because I don't live in a good area, okay? I live in a, well, however you want to call it. You know how they're always trying to make brown people the victim? No, I'm not a victim. But, you know, they do that a lot. And they were saying that, you know, well, we don't have markets with vegetables and with, that's why we have to buy junk food. I one day, if you have a moment, look at that, because I'd like to know what neighborhood in this day and age doesn't have markets to buy. Because they were talking about the Surgeon General, and I thought that was so inappropriate. You know, I think he did a wonderful job, and you know what? Really, we're going to get offended by the words that he said. That was not offensive at all. And they were saying that we, the brown people or whatnot, that we have to eat, you know, because of the underlining, because of the COVID, that we're in a higher group because of our underlying diseases. Well, you know, don't we have a choice? I mean, there are markets. We're in the 21st century. We can get vegetables as opposed to those ding-dongs. There's 99-cent stores that have vegetables, salads, but they're trying to make us the victim. And that really upsets me.
No, I hear you. I'm with you 100%. I mean, people they want to be the victim so badly. And the reason why that is because they don't want to take the personal responsibility. It's easier to be the victim and say, oh, nah, I don't have any responsibility. It's not my fault. Then to go out there and do something for yourself. And that's really a shame. That's lazy. And I'm not into the whole laziness. Do something for yourself rather than crying about it.
Yeah, I just, I thought he got a really bad rap. And I think, to me, kudos for that Surgeon General. It just amazed me how they made, I think that this is what I think. I don't know how you look very young, but I was a small kid in the 70s. And let me tell you, when I've never seen in all my life, I've never seen the race brought up so bad in all my years. And I think, oh my God, this generation is like, they would have died if they would have heard like the Jeffersons or All in the Family or Good Times. Like that would have been like, oh my goodness. It's like, I've never seen this so bad ever in my life. But nonetheless, I just wanted to give you kudos for your show. And just keep doing what you're doing, because I had stumbled upon your show probably about maybe a year ago, and I was listening. I don't know if you ever watched the Conservative Twins.
Yeah, I know those guys. They're from Virginia too. The Hodge twins.
Oh, do you? Oh, I love them. They are hilarious. And, they are so right on as well. And, I just want to say, keep doing what you're doing, because, eventually I'm really thinking that, eventually people are going to have to open their eyes, because, just like everybody else, the Republican was the rich racist when I was growing up, and the Democrats were, for the victim. And I was a victim. That's what I grew up believing. So just keep doing what you're doing, Anthony, and just good job.
Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. You have a wonderful evening.
Same to you now.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate her. All right. Let's get to a couple more calls, and I got to wrap on up, put a bow on the top. All right. The SOBC, what's happening?
ABL, long time no talk.
Yes, sir, man. How's everything going?
Everything's good. It's been a while. Glad to call in at such a interesting time.
Yeah, that's a word to say. Interesting for sure.
There's certain words that I just cringe when I hear, especially we're in this together.
Oh man, I don't want to hear that no more.
I know. Stay home, or the curve, or the flat, whatever. Man, I'm just tired of those. I'm just tired of hearing those terms.
Same.
But anyway, I just wanted to talk about, people. I'm in this group in my state, and this group has been there. It's basically a conservative group, and they've been arranging for a protest to go to the governor's mansion and just cause some chaos there. I mean, of course, orderly chaos, not out of control. But I see this post every day from this group, within people in this group, and people are going to snap. ABL. People are getting tired of this, and actually, there's some people already some small business owners already suggesting to open their businesses on Tuesday. Oh, this coming Monday, actually. They're saying, you know what, to hell with this. We're going to open our businesses. You can come support us. Whatever happens, happens. People are tired,
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame them because it's like, all right, I understand what the purpose is, to protect citizens, like you said, the words you hate nowadays, flatten the curve, slow the spread, all that kind of stuff. Social distancing, okay, we get it, we understand. But how about this? How about you just give me recommendations and let me do them if I want. If I don't, then that's fine. That's my life. Let me live it. Simple as that. If people are afraid to come outside, they don't want to catch the virus, they can stay inside. They can be quarantining if they want to. But give me that choice. Don't make me do certain things because you feel like it's in my best interest, because that's not going to work. I can't just tell the mortgage company, hey, I don't have it, or the power company, hey, I don't have it. And if I go to the store, buy some food and I don't have any money, what am I going to do? And the thing about it is, it's not just right now that it's going to be hurting people. It's going to be years down the line. What if you had a business, you put everything into it, all your money into it. Now you've lost everything. And how are you going to be able to get back to the point where you were before this whole thing started? So people are fed up. It's enough. Back to work. Let's get to it.
Exactly. And I think that there needs to be a national protest held by small businesses to all open up at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think this will be a great, middle finger to those governors.
I agree.
So yeah, I'm definitely tired too. I need to get out. I need to go to the gym. I've lost 5 pounds of muscle, ABL. I'm about to lose my mind too.
I feel you.
But anyway, great show. Keep up the great work, man.
And thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right, shout out to my man SOBC for the call. All right, I got to go now. Thank y'all for being here. If you were not able to get on, I'm sorry. The phone lines were jumping just now. It was like 4 in the queue, but I got to go. Like I said before, I'm here every Wednesday and Saturday from 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. So if you're not able to get on this time, try again next time. I'll be back. And of course, I'll be doing videos all throughout the week, pre-recorded, about different topics. You have a news tip or a topic you want me to do or to cover or to implore about, then send it to my email, contact@anthonyblogan.com. Go to my website, anthonyblogan.com. I got original articles on there. I have all my contact, my snail mail address, all that good stuff on that particular website. Again, Anthony B, as in boy, Logan, LOGAN.com, is the place you can find me. So that'll be right for me. Thank y'all for being here. Super chats, and then I'm gonna be out. All right, super chats, we'll get to those. Shout out to a few of you guys. Let me scroll up a little bit. Let me see. Shout out to, let me see, where am I at? Okay, I think I'm right here. Shout out to Meme JPEG or JPG, who says it's time to open America back up. Quote, we're the government to tell us when to reap, when to sow. We should want for bread, unquote. Thomas Jefferson, 1821. ABL, keep it up, your role model in the community. Thank you for your very kind words and your donation. Most certainly appreciate you. Shout out to Charles, who says, ABL, did you hear on David Harris Jr.'s show that he mentioned how some wackos threatened Terrence Williams? I wanted to get that out. Not okay at all. Yeah, I did not see that, but I heard about that. People threatening Terrence. It's crazy. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Say Hi, who says, another great show, ABL. Thanks again, man, with the peace sign twice. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate you guys. And shout out to the moderators keeping the chat nice and clean. You got a really big chat tonight. We had 1,000 people pretty much all throughout. We're at about 800 right now. Subscribe to my man Brandon Tatum. Subscribe to my man Black Conservative Patriot. They were in here earlier. Subscribe to the Conservative Twins. Watch alternative news media. I don't really care what it is. Watch all of us and get your information that way. Mainstream media, they're out the door. They're so inundated with corporate money, corporate sponsorship, and their politically leftist ideology, even though some of the conservative stuff, Fox News anyway, everywhere is like that when watching the mainstream media. Watch us. Get some information, read your news as well, watch local news as well to get a lot of good information because they're not so much tainted like some of the big dogs are. Shout out to Nippin who says he wants to get on Wednesday. I'll see what I can do, man. They know the lines are jumping. All right. Shout out to the moderators. We got Bill from the Hill. I see you in the chat. True Helper. We got my man. I saw Franz in the chat earlier. Michelle A. Eliza Jean. Killer Sushi. All you guys, Shreebs, of course. Michelle A., thank y'all for what y'all do all the time. It helps me out a whole lot. So that will be a wrap for me. And thank you to all the PayPalers and the Patreoners. If you want to donate that way, there should be a link in the description box for that. And it should be on my website as well. If it's not, put it on there tonight. But that's all I got. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.